to another edition of Comics Cast Let It Out. It is September. Can you believe that? It's September already. September 4th. Beautiful Labor Day weekend here in the United States. But I have to tell you, today you're in for a treat, like you always are every weekend, because we're gonna have a little bit of an international flavor. We're gonna have a guest who's here from the United States, but a guest that's coming from all the way from Lisbon, from Portugal. So, like I said, international flavor. But before we get to that, I just want to let anybody who just stumbled upon our podcast here to know a little bit about what Comics Cast is. Comics Cast is all about the indie creator. So if you're in the indie comic community, we want you. We want you on the show. Whether you're a penciler, inker, a storyteller, a publisher, it's our job or actually our honor to get eyes on you. And Let It Out, which is what this show is where we feature a guest from the indie community, in this case, guests from the indie community. And we get to sing your praises. We get to show your IPs, draw your OCs. There's a live drawing component to this. It's going to be super fun. And like I said, today we have not one guest, but we have two guests. We got John Schell, the third, because, 1 and 2 is not good enough. He's the third. And we also have Ruben, I'm going to screw this up. Ruben Mocho. I hope I said that correctly, but he's going to correct me as soon as we get them on here. But without further ado, let's just play the bumper so we can get our guests in here. So here we go. Comics Cast Let It Out, starting now. What's up? What's up?
What is up? What is up?
Wait, let me fix these cams because I want to make sure that you guys get top billing here. I want to put you guys here at the top because that's where you guys belong, because we got some good news to share with our audience. Let's do the introduction again. We have John Schell, who's in the upper left, and we have Ruben Mocho. Did I get that right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I got it right. We got Ruben Mocho, hailing from the great nation of Portugal. So happy to have some international flavor here today on Comics Cast Let It Out. And before I get too deep into it, let's go ahead and get their social media out here, because I want everybody to know about these two great individuals. You can see in the ticker or the little caption there below. This is how you can follow John. He's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Rhythm Comics, which is his studio. Is it your studio, or is it's your comic?
Yeah, IP? It's my comic IP. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And of course we can follow Ruben at Arts of Mocho, and I believe that's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. Yeah. I don't know. Do you do Twitter too?
I don't really. Yeah, I have an account, but I don't use it.
Well, in my book, Twitter is like a necessary evil. It has lots of good things, but there's some there's some toxic stuff out there. But it's still a good platform to get the word out for indie creators like you all. So that being said, I want to welcome you both. Say hi to our audience. We have
what is up? What is up?
Already here in the house. Good afternoon, everyone. Aurelis is a good friend of mine, and I'm glad that she can watch this show here. Hopefully we'll get some people trickling in here. I know it is Labor Day weekend, but I know that even if they're not here right now, they're going to want to watch it on demand a little later on. So I did flash up. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. This is their social media. Oh, oops, wrong one. Here we go. This is their social media. I'm going to leave this up for a while, but don't go there just yet, because we want your eyes here on this stream. All right, so that being said, we're going to jump right into the segment of the show, which we call the origin story. And that's where I put the mic in the hands of our guests. They get to tell us a little bit of their humble beginnings in terms of, where they found their creative, or they started their creative journey, and led them up to, in this case, how they met each other, and of course where they are right now, where they're going. So let's start with you, John, and I'm going to pull up some artwork that you shared with me, which basically that's going to be a visual aid to your origin story. But I want everybody to know that Rhythm Comics, that's your baby. We're going to talk about your comic, which is the last one, which I'm going to have to say when we get to that part of it, it's going to be exciting to talk about some good news that happened just yesterday during the pre-show. But you are the writer. You're the
Yes,
brains
sir.
behind this outfit. So here we go. We're gonna put you, give the mic to you, and let me pull up some art. Just go ahead and tell us a little bit about your creative journey. Oh, are you muted? I think you're muted. Oh. Okay, good. I think I can hear you. Say something. Oh,
No.
okay. There you go. You're
Okay.
okay. All right.
Okay, I think we're good, right? We're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we are. Just
Okay.
repeat whatever words that you were saying when you were muted.
Yeah. So yeah, my origin story. One day I woke up and I drank, a bad energy drink, and then I could teleport. Oh wait, no. Oh, that's different. Yeah, that's a different origin story. My bad. Yeah.
Okay.
My origin story was, I would say like 5 years ago or so. A few buddies of mine, really close friends. We watched a movie. We thought it was horrible, and we were like, hey, let's. It was, I think it was a zombie movie, and we're like, hey, we want to make something cooler than this, right? So we started to put together, a comic book together. And after a couple of years, things kind of fell off a little bit. Some got married, some, life just happened, and we all kind of went our separate ways. One is actually now currently working on a comic book himself again. But we're all really good friends. But that's kind of how I started, making comics. So got into the industry. Then I ended up actually continuing on with making comics. I actually have a fully completed, unpublished zombie comic that I'm gonna reboot. I don't even want to show it. I was so disappointed with just, I guess, my lack of knowledge at the time, and just not knowing a lot of stuff about the industry, that I was like, hey, I can't make this my first comic. Like I gotta actually have something juicy. So I didn't follow through with it, and I ended up actually working on a few things on the side, kind of put comics down for a while, and then I came back to it about 3 years ago. Where I actually met Ruben. So I started writing this story. I was watching Harry Potter, and I was watching these, of course, the magic and whatnot. I was watching a
Of
bunch of
course,
different,
man. I love
Lord of the
Harry Potter,
Rings,
man. Yes,
and
yes.
I was like, man, I just want to see more magic, right? Like I just want to see more. And so I was like, what's the story that I can write that kind of combines everything into one, but it's also my personal like story, and has my own elements to it. And that's when it used to be A World Forgotten. That's kind of cool. We're showing this now on the screen. So the original name of the book was actually A World Forgotten, and these are actually very old. There's the same designs, but they're older designs. And
Yes.
we actually changed the name to The Last Wand, centering the story around the Last Wand, which we'll see throughout the series. But more or less, yeah, that's kind of where I came to, and I was like, hey, I need an artist. So I saved up the money, dude. I worked hard, man. I worked my butt off to save up money.
Uh-huh. Oh, we lost your mic. Your mic. Okay, say something. Are you
Here
back?
we go. Here we
Oh
go.
no, the gremlins are coming out. Oh, check your connection. Make sure your mic is there.
Yeah, dude, yeah, it should be
Oh,
good
there you
now.
are.
I can
Okay,
see it
good,
on the
good.
screen. It might be a cord that's loose, and I
Loose.
decided I wanted
Okay.
to sound like a robot today, so I just purposely did that.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm like, he's really good at cliffhangers there, Ruben. It's like he said he just like
Yeah.
left us there hanging. It's like, and I was like going dramatic pause. Anyway, here we go. So John, continue your story. Okay, so you went from what I last heard, you went artist shopping, and artists are
Yeah.
us in the United States was bone dry. So you
It
had to
was,
go to Portugal.
yeah.
So keep on going.
I literally traveled to Portugal. I put out a freaking ad, and I was like, "Hey, somebody help!" No, dude.
Skywriting. You did
Yeah,
everything.
I got a plane. I was broke before I even started. But yeah, so I ended up being an artist, right? To write the script, or sorry, to produce the script with me, and I went to a Facebook page called Comic Artist Seeking Commission. And I put out a post, hey, I have the story, I have the money to back it already. I just need somebody to work with. Send me your portfolios. I told them what the story was about. I got an insane amount of inquiries, and almost most of them weren't even about what I was like looking for. So I actually ended up hunting rather than taking anyone from that post. And
Mm,
I found Ruben on the site, and I was like, oh man, dude, like this guy's art, it's really good. It just matches
incredible.
what I see in the book. And so I reached out to him, and I've said this a couple times. A lot of people know this, but the one thing that stood out to me about Ruben is it was interesting because I'm like, hey, I have the money, like I'll pay you for the work. And he came back and was like, well, I'm not going to do the work unless you promise me one thing. And I was like, what's that?
Ooh,
He's like, that
promises.
this book is not going to sit on the shelf for the rest of your life. And I was
Amen.
like, yeah, dude. And that's what, honestly,
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
what made me choose Ruben. Is I was like, if I have a guy on this team with me that is going to push me to be better and to actually get this book out there. I mean, there's a lot of
Yes.
fear that comes with
Yes.
producing a book. And to launch a book, man, there's so much fear there. But he was the guy who was like, hey, you aren't going to let this sit. You got to promise me that. I've worked on projects in the past that have sat. And
Uh,
if you can make me that promise, we'll work together. And here we
Yeah,
are.
Cute, cute.
that's
All
pretty
right, that's
much
a
it.
great origin story. And he queued it up for you, Ruben, because he brought it up to the point where, like I said, he went to Artist R Us.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say it. No,
yeah, yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
artist seeking. What is it? Was it comic? What is it?
Comic
Commission?
book artist seeking commission, I
Comic?
believe.
Yeah,
That's a
something of the
mouthful.
sort. Yeah.
They made it
Comic.
hard to
Comic.
say, bro.
I know, but it doesn't matter. It could be like 10 words long as long
Oh
as it
yeah,
connected
yeah.
you guys together. So let's talk. The mic is now in your hands, Ruben. Because I have to say I did not hear that during the pre-show in terms of the ultimatum. The Ruben ultimatum that he
Yeah.
gave to John and said, you know what? As long as it doesn't promise me, it doesn't sit on the shelf. That's awesome. So here, the mic is in your hands. Let's hear your origin story. I got some phenomenal artwork that I'm going to show while you're talking. So please, please,
Yeah.
please, let's hear it.
Thank you. So pretty much, yeah. I've worked in comics for a big while, I think, and yeah, most of the works that I've done have not been used at all.
Oh,
Which is kind of, that's
shame,
not the
shame,
point.
shame,
Yeah,
shame on those guys.
that
Yep.
yeah, that's not the point of us being artists, right? Like, it's not the money. Obviously, we need money to survive, but it's not the main point. And yeah, by the time that I met John, I already had worked on at least five different comics for five different people, and I mean, not bad experiences, not at all, because I've met really good people and really cool people. But like I said, as soon as I met John, it was real different. Um,
Mhm.
we started bumping it, and pretty much never stopped. And that's what I aimed as an artist. And honestly, up until now, I didn't had that, I guess, and the ambition and the I don't know. It's just I guess it's just an inspiration, I guess. But yeah, my background. I come from a simple background. I just worked on my
Uh-huh.
room all day, just yeah, closed like a caveman, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Not a
went to
bad thing.
college.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
went to
Uh-huh.
college. Like eventually, like graduated, and yeah, here I am, still working, still grinding, and trying to get
Hmm.
into the industry. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
much it, man.
Oh man, I think you probably left out a lot of details there because I
Yeah.
remember talking on the pre-show. You were telling me about how part of the reason why like I'm gonna say it's like when people say to be good at something you have to go to put like the 10,000 hours into it.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think there is a talent aspect to it, but there's also a lot of, like you said, grinding, sacrifice,
There's a lot
discipline.
of yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
and you had mentioned before that what was it? There was somebody like in your grade
Yeah,
school, I
okay,
think
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
that you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
talk a little bit
So
about that?
yeah, I used to, yeah. So back at this school when I was like I was like, yeah, I guess 4 years old, something like that. I used to see this kid like draw Trunks from Dragon Ball Z like perfectly. Like even the damn sword was like there was no imperfections on
It
that,
was
So I was
perfect.
like, yeah, I need to go home. I need to train it. And he was like, yeah, and I would be asking the dude like, can you teach me? And he was like, no. And I did, all right. So I need to go home and I need to be to beat it, and I need to kind of yeah, I need to So pretty much yeah. I
Ah,
guess I guess that that type of
Motivation, man. Yeah.
sportsmanship. I guess I don't know how would you say, but yeah,
it
I
was
guess
friendly competition. Friendly
rivalry. Yeah,
competition.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
exactly.
I have
That's
to
good,
say
dude.
that
That's very good.
it is good. And I just have John. I don't know if you had the
Go
same
ahead.
image in your head.
Yeah.
Two 4-year-olds, Ruben and this other 4-year-old, having a face off. And then the Rocky theme song comes in there because the guy won't teach him. A fellow 4-year-old will not teach another fellow 4-year-old, and that was a defining moment in Ruben's life. I have to tell you, man, my 4-year-old self did not have that kind of experience, and I have to say that that was a pivotal moment. I'm totally geeking about that's so cool. But yeah, that's great because inspiration comes in many forms, and in Ruben's case, it was another 4-year-old who could draw Dragon Ball Z to perfection. And, Ruben, not wanting to sit on his hands, decided, I'm going to lock myself in my room and I'm going to keep on drawing until he does stuff like this. I mean, killer artwork. And I have to say that, John, I have to tell you,
Thank you so much.
I look at this stuff and I'm like going, I know why you picked Ruben.
Mhm.
And now that you guys have your powers combined, you met on that comic book artist
Seeking commission.
artist
Yeah.
commissions, yes, whatever the name of that Facebook group. You
We'll get
found
it,
each
yeah.
other, and we got the ultimatum. You guys decided, you know what, we can work together, and it's amazing. I'm seeing all this great artwork here. We have some fan art stuff too. Dark Side imposing, and just really, like I said, eating this up. This is incredible artwork. And now that you guys are together, let me go ahead. I'm just going to scroll through this art real quick, and then we're going to go back to talking about now that you guys are together, what you guys have done. But here we are. You gave me so much great stuff here. Who doesn't love Invincible? Powerful illustration here. This is a double page spread. Just it's a pity. I can't understand why you had 5 other projects before meeting John, and unfortunately, none of them came to full published fruition. Shame on them. Maybe when they see the last one, they're gonna go, "Gosh, why did we sleep on this? Why do we have this?"
No,
in the
it's all love
Yeah.
at the end of the day, bro. I don't regret
Yeah.
it. It's experience.
I definitely don't mean that as a slight on them. I'm just saying that.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I got you.
I'm just saying that if they had these gems that were
Yeah.
produced already, why let it sit? Why let it get stale?
Yeah,
Because I can
exactly.
say that your art, even though you sent me just a wide range of art, I've just seen even your earliest work that I've seen.
This is some of the earliest work.
Yeah,
it's
Yeah,
evolved.
like it's amazing, dude.
Yeah, and it's still. I mean, shoot. I mean, your old stuff still has a lot of power behind it.
That's actually traditional work, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's another thing too, because you're going to be doing digital work, and you're, it's just like with I've said this on other shows. It's like, Picasso. Everybody knows Picasso from his weird, abstract things, but a lot of people don't know him for his classical style too. He evolved. He went through so many different art periods, and I'm seeing here with Ruben, his traditional work. He does do a lot of digital now, and just what he's doing now with the last one. It's just next level. It's next level in the evolution of Ruben, and I can totally see, why John wanted to work with him. And yeah, it's fitting here that we're at the end of these drawings that I got from Ruben. That we got some last wand work here. Of course, we have Thanos. Just some incredible stuff. So let's go back. I want to the last wand. Let's go ahead and get the discuss the the elephant in the room or the gorilla in the room. I don't know what the word.
The elephant.
Awesome. The elephant. Yes, I'm at. For some reason, my brain is not completely functional right now. But I'm just gonna say, woohoo! Congratulations! While we were doing our pre-show yesterday, your Kickstarter for the last one, a 38-page epic fantasy comic, got funded. It was over. It got pushed over the line. So that was a hype, exciting feeling. I'm a high for you guys. I really. It was a nice feeling. I would have liked it to happen live during this show, but to do it during our pre-show, I'll take that too. We're gonna go into more details about that. Talk about the intricacies and all the little bells and whistles that come along with the campaign. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but they are funded. It's amazing. 87 backers, just over $2,500. It's at 2,640, and yeah, I get to have you both here on the show. And I just noticed in the comment field, another reason why you guys are on the show, why I was able to hear about from you guys was because of this gentleman, Justin Acosta, who is I'm a fan of him, and I'm so thankful he is a fan of Comics Cast and Comics Let It Out. He's a dear friend, and he was the guy who came to me and said, "Hey, Gerald, got to talk to John. Got to talk to John Schell the third." And like I said, it's not just one. It's not just two. He's number 3. He's John Schell the third. He has a great IP. And I didn't even know Ruben, but when I clicked on the link, I looked at it. I was like, yeah, no vetting needed. I got to get these guys on the show. So here, now that you guys have your powers combined, I take it this was probably, you guys have known each other for, I think, was it 3 years? So you
About
got
3
to know
years,
each
yep.
other. Yeah. And I talked to you during the pre-show, and you kind of talked about, you went through some ups and downs, and you know, like with anything that is meaningful, there's trials and tribulations. Now I got the impression it wasn't trials and tribulations with each other.
No,
it sounds like you have a really great friendship, but you probably had your share of like, ups and downs with just getting it to where it's at. You guys want to talk a little bit about that relationship, and I'm going to show some sequentials here while you're doing it. John, I'll let you start off, and I'll let Ruben add anything into it once you start talking.
For sure. So, just real quick, going back to the story when you were 4 years old, bro. I literally thought, I thought you were saying that he was drawing drunks, not trunks. Drunks.
Wait, what?
So, was it okay? That's what I was thinking. Is it Trunks? Is that a okay? You're gonna have to shoot
It's
me
for Dragon Ball Z. Yeah,
I know it's Dragon Ball Z. Is that the name of the character? The character's name is Trunks. Okay, everybody, you can take my geek card, because I don't know Dragon Ball Z. When I heard Trunks, and I was like swimming trunks, and then I said maybe like trucks, because what 4-year-old doesn't like Tonka trucks? And I was like thinking, okay, well maybe it was trucks, and then I heard it is trucks, but it's a trucks character from. All right, so enough about how stupid, and I should get my geek card revoked.
Oh man!
Now that I know that it's a trucks from Dragon Ball Z. That is awesome. So go ahead, John.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that. I was like, man, what kid is like, I want to draw drunks better than you. At 4 years old.
I am crying right now. It's like, I want to draw hobos. I want to draw drunks.
So, but I was like thinking, you guys understood me, and I was like, oh yeah, they got me. Yeah.
Well, we have clarification now, bro. Okay, we get it now. And by the way, I believe there's a cameo in our book. By the way, I won't go into that.
Oh yeah, there is a cameo of Trunks in our book, and that's.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is there a cameo of a drunk? Like
I drew Trunks on this book, bro. I drew it.
But yeah, so I guess we'll jump into like, our time together and what we went through, so dude, I mean, I guess like you said, it was never really us, it was really life throwing the curveballs, being fully funding a project. I would say, I'm going to talk from a writer standpoint, doing the work on the side, strenuous, sometimes those hours were really rough, trying to make the extra money to do that, but Ruben was always extremely accommodative towards me when it came to that, and we'll probably get more into that later, like, giving him a script and he freaking hands me an animation. So anyways,
be quiet. That's super secret.
So we got along. We became friends through the process, really understanding each other, as Ruben would always say, we're always on the same wavelength. When it came to the creative freedom of the book, I had a script, but it was always open to his creative mind, like adding whatever he wanted, and just like little elements that an artist has that
collaboration, right?
Exactly, collaboration. And it was great, and really just the ups and downs of it were just life, emotional trials, family passing away during COVID, and friends, and whatnot. And then about a year ago, my daughter passed away at birth.
Oh my
So
gosh.
so
I'm sorry.
that kind of
Yeah.
I mean, that put me on my butt, but at the same time, um, that was motivation for me to do something and make my mark on this world, right? And to continue going.
Yeah.
It was hard for a
Dedication.
few months, and
Yeah.
Ruben was there for me through that whole process, man. Like, I mean, as a friend, just through the artistic trials and whatnot, through going, the making of the comic book. I remember him telling me, man, and it goes all the way back to the first time we talked, and him saying, "Hey, uh, this isn't gonna sit on a shelf, right?" And you want to know what really went through my mind that got me through the times of like that dark time was
Yeah.
that's promise I made, right? And we are gonna get this book out there and get it funded, and not just that, but make our mark on the world and go somewhere, right? I mean, comics gives us the opportunity to communicate with people on a level that we may not do on a daily basis. I'm an introvert and I might not seem like it, but ask my wife, like, I don't even want to walk my dog because I might see somebody. Like, so I mean, that's me. And
Yes.
I used to be different, but life happened and, I changed
I feel you.
and so I
Yeah.
definitely, those were really the big struggles throughout the process. But I mean, I know from Ruben's perspective too, there was quite a few too. So I'll let him pick up from there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I guess these past 2 years were difficult for everybody.
Mhm.
I ended up losing my grandma as well.
Oh my
Was
gosh.
Yeah, was
So sorry.
she was like my second mother to me, and I mean, we still have our dreams and stuff, so we gotta push it
Mhm.
in the name, I guess, and in the memory of those people. And
Yes.
in my case, like in everything, like my grandmother did to me, so I kind of feel the need to push myself every time to accomplish that dream self that I always imagine. So
Mhm.
yeah, when it comes to that, like I said, I think we were meant for each other, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's the synergy. Ended up
Yeah.
always working well, no matter what type of tribulations or whatever we found in our way.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
I
we
have to
we got
tell you,
I
like,
think we got pissed
yeah.
at each other a few times, but we always came out
Yeah,
of it, man.
yeah, you
But
Hey,
know.
you
like
know what?
it was a
Right,
mood.
you
It
know
was
what?
a
What? Yeah. What relationship? Whether
yeah.
it's platonic, whether it's romantic, friendship or whatever. It has. There's gonna be. I think if you can have those type of disagreements and still maintain that level of,
Mhm.
of a relationship, that's testament to the strength of it. And I have to say, knowing you guys just from yesterday, I feel like you are brothers from another mother. You guys, I did not know the trials that you went through, both of you. You're right. 2020, when the lockdown happened, when COVID was at its height, it affected everybody on so many
Mhm.
levels. and
Hmm.
and
Yes,
creatives, I have to
yes.
say, creatives in general were affected to get off their butts. It's
Mhm.
almost like I started doing this comics cast around that when COVID was starting to really take hold. And I noticed there were so many creatives that would just decide, you know what, um, tomorrow is never promised. And
Yeah.
if we have something that's in our heads, stories that have been just gestating and just need to be told, um, it's time to find like that creative partner that's going to help me realize it in indie comics. And I'm hearing
Yeah.
the story from you guys. I'm hearing how you guys reached across. I mean, it was a reach across the ocean, all
Mhm.
the way to Portugal from the great state
Yeah.
of Florida. And I tell you, I was crying I was crying with laughter, seeing you guys kind of vibe with each other. And then I'm kind of like, I am misty eyed now. I'm crying too because I heard about your struggles, and you both experienced these tragic losses. But rather than letting that consume you, letting that depress you, you decided, you know what, I'm going to dedicate this to my
Mhm.
daughter, in your case, John, and to your grandmother, Ruben. And
Yeah.
you found
Yeah.
ways. I mean, my gosh, seeing these pages, seeing these artwork now through that prism, it just makes me listen. I can actually I think this is what the comics medium is about. It's finding that connection with people. And now that I've heard the story, your personal stories, I kind of see the story, like how this ties to the story.
Yeah, yeah,
Because,
for sure,
because
for sure. Yeah, there's a
oh
lot
my
of
gosh,
feelings.
here I'm gonna go ahead and like talk a little bit about the story. I'm gonna let them fill it in, and we talked yesterday about how the pre-show is gonna go. How the show is gonna go during the pre-show, which is where we're gonna give like this 1,000-foot overview of the last one. And rather than me, because now I see some parallels to like your lives to this comic, and I don't think I could do it justice. So I'm gonna let John. I'm gonna let you give that 1,000-foot overview in terms of what the last wand is, who the main protagonist is, and what his story is, and then we'll go from there. So let me put the mic back in your hands. Tell us a little bit about the last wand.
Okay. So yeah, and the last one, issue 1 is more of a pilot, so it introduces a lot of the characters. Keon is the main character of the story, and he's the one you see now, holding the wooden butterfly. So we follow Keon, through his journey. In the last one, in issue 1, these pages we're seeing are actually kind of mid book. So you actually to see quite a bit of what puts Keon into his mental state in the beginning of the book, and then you're gonna kind of see things in his mind and whatnot that he's starting to realize that maybe he didn't know or he had buried deep within his mind. And then we finish out the book, of course, with the conclusion and everything wrapping up together. So Keon is really close and dear to my heart. So I'm the oldest of 6, and so I have 5 younger sisters, and the youngest
Oh my
is my.
gosh.
So when it came to the dynamic between Keon and his sister, it really spoke to me mainly because I'm the oldest brother of a few sisters. So I felt that, right, and that's why when it came to an origin story, they don't always have to be sad or whatnot. But in this case, I felt like it really pushed the storyline forward, the dynamic of who Keon is, and even how he ends up. I would say coming to the realization of possibly who he may actually be, and things of that nature.
Oh, we lost your mic.
Oh! Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, he's
The
always
the
with the cliffhangers.
cliffhanger.
This guy.
The cliffhanger.
Can you? Okay, all right. Jiggle that wire a little bit so we can kind of get you back, John. Oh, is he there?
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, we're back. You're back. Okay. Don't
hi, Mark.
move.
I feel like I can't move because my cord is just like it's waiting.
It's like a hanging by a wire here.
We didn't.
Right,
did we have this in the pre-show? I don't think we had this in the pre-show.
No, we did it. We did it. I don't
technology.
know, but yeah.
But yeah, so
okay, so you're talking about how he's has a special place in your heart for obviously for your personal familial reasons. But go ahead, keep on going.
Yeah, so yeah, he is and so that dynamic I know pretty well between my sisters, and like I was able to feel put myself in the shoes of a brother who may have had a tragedy happen in his family, and then kind of walk through the story for this main character in that light. But there is so much more to Keon than meets the eye. As you can see, magic, quite a bit of magic involved, and things like that. So we will learn a lot about who Keon is. By the end of the book, it's it's revealed as to who Keon may be, and that's what we kind of leave the cliffhanger off of. So it's been a lot of fun, creating this character. But there are also other characters in the story that I'm sure we'll go over in a bit.
Yeah. So yeah, because I think and it's not a spoiler because it's kind of like these are the sample. These sample pages have they been shared over social media or is it just okay? They have.
Yeah.
And I just want to tread softly here because I don't want to like inadvertently spoil anything. But the whole crux of or his whole like mo with Keon is that he's experienced a loss, and in this case, it's like his sister, right? And he's dealing with that trauma, and in these sequences, I have to say this is where you have a great eye for seeking talent to help tell your story. And I popped up this comment earlier from our mutual friend here, which is Justin. He says, "Writer and artist synergy is the best."
Mm-hmm.
It is no more strongly exemplified in this, like in just these pages that you shared with me, because it's I look at this and I can see this through your script, John, and then through the pictures, the illustrations that Ruben's put together here. You can see that care, the compassion, the love, and I can tell you that. What is this last page here? I want to scroll down through here. I mean, I look at this. I talk about an emotional impact. I think that it's great when you can find an artist that that can do like those tremendous action shots, right? When you have like the that evil villain going against the superhero, and you can see the punches that are being traded, and you can see all the power and just so much like energy and stuff like that. But then you see this too. This is a difficult thing to capture. There's power in this as well. There's powerful emotions that are in here, and not every artist can pull this stuff off. I mean, look at you see Keon here, and he gets just from panel 1, and then you have our main panel that's in the middle, and then you have him in panel 3 here, and the arms outstretched, and you can really see and he seems sad there at the very beginning, but then he's kind of smiling too, but he's still weepy, and I just like, man, this is a hook. This is something I want to know. Is this really his sister? Is this what is this emotional journey that he's going through that's going to make him that character? So I'm emotionally invested in this now. I'm totally.
You should see the next 2 pages.
Yeah, well, I could, but you didn't send them to me.
No.
So yeah, but that's what I want people to see. It's like, yes, wait till you see the next 2 pages, because that means you got to go buy the book. You got to go to the Kickstarter, and I'm going to share that a little later on. So you got to make sure that you stick around for that. So we will talk about the Kickstarter, which again I said is already funded, and not only is it funded, it's done. It's baked. If you look in the back, if you look in John's background, he has some issues already. It's like these are the I think you said they got 25 issues that you went ahead and printed for just to like shop around, show that it is actually completed. So like if you back this, you're not going to wait 6 months for it to get done. It is he just needs to get those final numbers in, and backers will get the book. That means a lot. Again, we will talk more about that, why that's so important. But we'll stay on target with the comic and these sequentials. So you guys have now come together. The book is now completed. You had a great emotional journey, personal emotional journeys, and then of course that translated. You were able to take that. I won't even say that it is a heartbreaking. There's a heartbreaking experiences, but you were able to take negatives and turn them into positives, and we can see that, or I can see that. I hope our guests be able to see that as well. Just the power of these pages that we're seeing, and why it's important. I think that everybody should support them and back them. But we're going to learn a little bit more. I think this is a good segue into the part of the show, which is the live drawing part of it. This is where we get to. This is the difference between this show and a lot of other podcasts out there. We do the interview, which I like to call more of a conversation than a formal Q&A. We get to hear from our guests, and we get to do some live drawing, which allows the creators to go deeper. Deeper than what you would see like on an Instagram post or a tweet or a Facebook post. There may be some words that accompanies it, but when you do this type of interview, when you do this type of show, you get to actually get some dialogue, some narrative that goes along with illustration. So the first live drawing that we're going to do is going to be Keon. We're going to draw him, and let me share this. These are the covers here. I want to show this because I use this for the banners, and it's a vertical image, but it's almost broken down into like a triptych. There are three areas here, And we're not gonna talk about that top character because that's hint. That's gonna be something that we might draw in the live drawing. But we have or the those two. We have the two characters, and they're the antagonists, and then we have the protagonist, which is Keon here. So have this, and you can see he kind of has like this. I don't want to say it looks like kind of like a hex. I mean, a hex spell crown. I don't know what it is that's around his head. I'm going to let John kind of like talk a little bit about that. But we also have this. This is another cover, another variant cover for it, and these are things that I want to tease. I want people, if you're going to draw along with us, that's the thing about these live drawings too, is not only do we get to see the magic happen with my guest, that's going to be, that's on the show, in this case, Ruben, but we have an audience, possible audience participation. So anybody in the audience who wants to draw along with us, please do. And all you need to do is, if you're going to do it, let me know in the comments field that you're doing it, and then post that art to our sister page, which is called The Art Show on Facebook. So if you're going to draw, do a screen capture right now. This is Keon. And you saw some of the really emotional, riveting panels from some of the sequential pages that both John and Ruben put together earlier. But this is a nice picture, so you can get to see what his, what he looks like. You can see what his upper, I'm going to say this is his superhero costume at this point.
His red hoodie,
as a red hoodie. But that's important. I think
let me tell you something. That suit, that jacket has a long story.
Okay. Well, when we start drawing him, I would like both of you maybe going into like because I don't want you to obviously spoil anything that's in the first issue or anything that you have planned for the second. But yeah, so when you can talk a little bit about Keon and bring him up to the point where it's not spoilery, and then you can talk about the aesthetics. Ruben, I would like to hear the story about that. So save that for the live drawing. We'll talk about that. And I think that's okay. All right. So we have Keon here, and I'm going to zoom in here real quick. Man, your pencils, inks, colors. John, you picked a winning team.
Those colors are by Paris Elaine, right? From Marvel.
Yeah. He's a Marvel colorist.
Awesome, man! How did you get all these?
Ruben, he has his ways, man.
He has connections. Okay, all right. Well, by all means, talk about that as we keep on going here. So anyway, if you're gonna draw along, I see that Molly Mock is in there, and I think Justin, I know that you can draw too. I know you can't rely on Marius for everything. So Justin, if you want to draw too, you can do that as well. And anybody else who happens to just join our podcast, please feel free to draw. Just let me know. So here we have a Keon here, and we also have Keon here. Please do a screen capture so we can draw along, and then so that everybody can draw along. And I'm going to solo out your art cam in a moment, Ruben, and we're going to set the clock at, since we're only doing 2, we'll set it at like 15 minutes, and then we can maybe add an extra 5 minutes if needed, because I know that you probably are not the slow artist that I am, and you could probably draw Keon in your sleep. So
I'm a little bit slow.
It's okay, and that's the thing too. You don't have to. I don't know what you did. I did talk to you about what we could draw along. I don't know if you did a rough, or if you want to show some inking. Or if you want to
I was already sketching while we were talking.
Oh, you were? Okay, perfect. Okay, so you just take it from wherever you are, and then we'll obviously let John give a little bit of mystery science seer narrative to like let as you start drawing. So anyway, the clock will be. I'm going to put your art cam on right now, and oh my gosh, I can already see some really awesome work here. And I'm going to solo it out so I can hide in the background while I'm drawing, but I will be here talking along. So let me maximize this, and we're gonna let Ruben work his magic. Ha ha ha! I made a little pun there, with the magic wand here. And let's start the clock right now. 15 minutes, and we're gonna be drawing Keon right now. And I'm gonna let John, if you want to talk, I don't know if you want to add any additional details about him, and then you can always go on to aesthetics, about that red jacket. So mic is in your hands, and let's start drawing.
Alrighty. Well, first off, you could have taken a screenshot of Ruben and would have seen Keon.
I never. That is so true. I
I'm
saw him in
messing.
a hoodie
Uh,
yesterday,
I
and
see,
now I
I
can see
see,
some
I see Ruben and
parallel.
Keon. Yeah,
Yeah,
every time I'm like, hey, look,
yeah.
man. Like, I mean, but Ruben's a good-looking guy, so Keon's a good-looking guy. So there you go.
There you
Um,
go. There you
thank you, thank
go. Uh-huh.
but yeah, so yeah, I mean, more or less, I really just gave a pretty simple description of Keon when we first started, and like I said, Ruben took a picture of himself and put it up here. No,
you.
I'm just joking. No, and he did a great job, man. And like, I mean, if you look at some of the other characters, which we'll show later on, you'll see that he has such a great diversity when it comes to drawing different characters and how they look. So, but as for the red jacket, I
This is
guess
a
that's
Michael Jackson.
it's a Michael Jackson.
It's a Michael Jackson pun between
That
us,
is
bro.
true. I see that.
Yeah.
It's the thriller jacket, right? Not the
Yes,
beat
yes,
it
yes.
jacket, but it's the
Yeah, the
thriller
thriller.
jacket.
Yeah, yeah,
Shoot,
yeah.
Mm,
I'm always
man, I
like
love it.
sending
Uh,
gifts to
it's all Michael Jackson.
sending I'm always sending memes to him, you know. So like he kind of stuck, you know.
Oh man.
yeah, man,
Yep.
I'm loving it. I can't look at Keon the same way now. It's got some like
He's gonna
look at his,
moonwalk, cast spells now.
I know. It's like when he shoots his wand and he's gonna go and just
Yeah.
like
Thriller.
woo. Yeah, thriller.
Oh,
All right, sorry, I blew out everybody's eardrums when I did that, but keep on talking.
oh man.
I love hearing these background stories.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, more or less, his Keon's whole character developed from really just, I guess, in my mind as a writer, I see him as someone different at first, and then once you actually see his face, once you put those emotions to his face, you actually end up developing the character even better. So, when he first showed me, I was like, dude, this is it. I mean, and then from there we worked on a few other character designs for the characters, but more or less just like the aesthetics, like you said, it was kind of a lot of our stuff kind of comes from jokes. I mean, we actually
Mhm.
be right before the show we started a Discord called what was it called, the
Elvish
avocado,
avocado.
yeah, the Elvish Avocado Gang. We're like just talking like
Uh,
so we just kind of bounce the fun stuff, and then we make it stick. He, like he said, he sent me gifts all the time of Michael Jackson for, I don't know why, don't ask me, but and he ended up making his jacket the same
yeah,
thing because of
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
um it all came together.
Uh,
This super serious character that has a rough life, has actually some fun, quirky little things to him as well,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
uh-huh.
awesome. You got to keep that light in the darkness sometimes. So, and we were
Yeah.
actually just talking about his character and his personality. We've talked about it a lot, but just more like we originally had an alternate ending to this book, which we are working on, like a what I call a past and futures edition of the book. Which will be over 100 pages, and it'll be hardcover. But that will be coming out like on an Indiegogo or something after this campaign, because we are still kind of putting it together. But
Oh, your mic.
Oh,
Your mic went.
the
What?
cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. All right, jiggle the wire. Let's get your headphones back. Still not there. Still not there. Uh,
hold on,
so
hold on.
Ruben, I think. Oh, he's
Yeah,
there. There
yeah,
he is.
yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
gonna tell. I was gonna tell John. I was gonna tell Ruben that he was gonna have to break into like song and dance because
What's
he can't All right. Okay. So you're back. I forgot what exactly you were like talking about. What when you we lost you? Oh,
Hello.
I think we lost
Yeah,
you again. All right. You gotta do
yeah.
these. You gotta do the song and dance now, Ruben.
Oh damn. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Fast, fast, quick, quick. Think fast.
You're throwing it. Okay. All right, John. I don't know. Do you have a backup headset, maybe like earbuds or?
I wiggled my
There you are.
wire. I
Okay,
wiggled my
there you go.
wire while falling off the cliff, and I think it worked.
Let me see if I
Okay,
can
all
draw
right.
John real fast.
Okay, all right. He
Oh,
was
is that me?
drawing. There you go.
Am I falling off? Oh, that's my face. What is this? What am I seeing here?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
This is
yep,
the
yep. It's my.
avocado man. Avocado
It's
man.
my face.
Oh, look how quick! Look how quick it is.
Oh
Why do I
damn,
look
damn.
like a monk, bro?
Yeah, I can't remember your hair. Why? Yeah. Okay. Full alien. Full alien.
Uh,
I'm
Oh, that's
sorry,
so funny.
man. Oh
That's so
goodness.
funny.
Okay. That's why you see. That's why me and John, it's like always like this, you know.
Oh yeah. So, dude, I don't even know where I was at, man. But yeah,
Elvis Avocado and
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
you
So
end with
yeah,
it,
just
yeah, whatever.
giving some light to the character.
Oh no,
That's where I
Keanu,
was
yeah,
at.
Keanu,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Keon's character himself, like making light of more of a dark character. So the alternate ending of the book, which we'll have in a separate book on Indiegogo eventually, we
Mhm.
did have I think it was 8 or 9 pages, Ruben, of that alternate ending, and it shows
Oh
Keon.
yeah,
Dude, it shows Keon in a different light, which we will see throughout the series. It's just when we did that ending, it kind of it took us too far into the story, if
Right.
that makes sense. Like we wanted
You want to
to,
slow it down a
yeah,
little bit, right?
slow it down.
Yeah.
Like we didn't want to just throw him all the way in a situation, right? So we wanted to slow it down a bit, and so we didn't use it. But yeah, so Keon, he does have some humorous things to him. He is someone in a depressed state at the moment, but his friends definitely help him through that, and you can see an awesome, interesting dynamic between all of them as well. So
Ooh.
for now, his character, you're definitely going to see him in a more depressed light, but throughout the series, you're going to see just a whole mix of emotions, from happiness to sadness to regret. I mean, we really hit every emotion on the head when it comes to Keon.
Oh, that is so
yeah.
good. I mean, because I think that here, we don't want our heroes or our protagonists to be just flawless. We don't want them to
Oh yeah.
be just like because what makes them relatable is when they go through emotions and experience like we all do,
Hmm.
and I think that's the fact that you guys can have these light moments. It breaks up like the seriousness, the gravitas of a situation, and allows you when you can take the humorous moments that you two share personally and kind of put that in the comic as well, and then realize, hey, maybe it's too grim right here. It's so funny. You got your first
Hmm.
issue and you already have like an alternate ending to it. It's like it's like you have a
Yeah.
director's cut of your book
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So
Oh
yeah.
damn,
Uh-huh.
we have like about like
Do we have three alternate endings?
no
Yeah.
What?
4, yeah,
Three?
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why.
Oh my gosh. All right, go, Ruben. I think you had some other things you wanted to talk about. Was there something else that you wanted to add to what John was
Yeah,
saying,
no.
or?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. So we ended up, yeah, we ended up trying. It was like trial and error, trial and error.
Mhm,
I guess the way we wanted the story to go wasn't quite there, but
mhm,
but it was. I think it was like a matter of matter of maturity too. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know how
Hmm.
to explain it, but it ended up going towards where we wanted, no matter what. So yeah, I guess we had to like try a couple of things. Uh, we we didn't like a couple, but we liked a couple other things, but we ended up not using them as well. It was not as we wanted. Yeah, but yeah, man.
mhm,
Like I said, it's just a matter of maturity, both mine and his.
Hmm.
Um, and it kind of
learn,
meshed up.
yeah,
Yeah,
mhm. And
This
it was
is,
learning to work with
combination.
each other.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
You're learning each other's strengths, and like we talked
yeah,
about earlier, it's that that creative collaboration. So I actually like that you had. And it's good that you have this in your back pocket because I think that you could probably do a maybe when you get to issue like or if you complete this story arc or let's say you get to issue which I'm not going to say isn't going to happen, but say when you get to issue 50 or maybe 100, you can release like this art book which has like this was an alternate ending that we could have done in book one, and not just one alternate ending, it's like three alternate endings, and that shows that you guys are you're forming that team supreme. You're recognizing how
Hmm.
to build an effective story to like do the pacing so that it gets people involved. John, you want to like follow up on that?
Yeah. So going to the actual the book itself, so I might have been cut off while I was falling off that cliff earlier, but I was talking about I did have a lot of people, so we're running this on Kickstarter, as you know. I did have a lot of people reach out. Something that I didn't really realize, but I guess in the industry there's people that just won't use Kickstarter, and some people that
Yes.
will
Mm-hmm.
only use Indiegogo and whatnot. So I had a few people reach out to me and said, "Hey, I'll back your book, but only if it's on Indiegogo."
Isn't that
So
a shame? That's a shame.
yeah, it kind of sucks. But it kind of gave me the opportunity though in this situation. So like you were saying, coming out with a book where we show those alternate endings. So we are planning on that, and that book right now is sitting at 97 pages unfinished.
Yeah.
That will have the comic book, the full comic book in it, and it will have all the alternate endings, all the concept art, and even pages that we'd never used that didn't have anything to do
Oh,
with any of that.
that's so
So
good.
it's gonna
Mhm.
be kind of, I call it the past and futures edition because it shows the past work we did, it shows the future concept stuff that we're working on for the series. And
Mhm.
we are working on getting that created, and we'll just run like a super simple Indiegogo where we we'll just put a super small 250 or something
Mhm.
on it for funding goal, and we're just going to put it out there and see who wants to back the book. And in this case, you'll be able to get everything in one, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. We're working on that in the background. But yeah, that's I got cut off earlier, but that was definitely something that I wanted to kind of hit on too.
Ugh, something to look forward to. Something to
Yeah,
look forward
something
to.
to look forward to because
Mhm.
you kind of got to sell your book even after you sell your book, right? So
Mhm.
Kickstarter is a great way to get people involved, to get people on board right away, but at the same time, Kickstarter, and I tell this to everyone, you aren't like, I mean, I'll be transparent on stream, and I'm sure a lot of people and a lot of writers know this, but this book cost about 3 times as much as, to put
It
together
does.
in total as I asked for even on the Kickstarter campaign, right? So you don't
Mhm.
really, I tell a lot of people, if you're getting into comics to make money, don't get me wrong. You can make money. It is there, but you've got stepping stones to get through. And you've got to really show who you are as a person, be able to fulfill, create a book, get it out there. All those things come into play. So
Mhm.
really, I like the idea of selling the book even after Kickstarter, and the way I'm going to do that, and we were kind of talking about it, is through that Past and Futures edition book on Indiegogo, and also possibly doing like an Amazon thing, print to order, Global
On
Comics. I've
demand.
been
Prints on
Yeah, on
demand. Yep.
demand.
Mhm.
Yep, I've seen Global Comics is getting a lot of traction lately. Maybe
No,
Oh, cliffhanger! We lost you. This is
here
going to be a
we
recurring theme,
go.
Ruben.
Hell yeah. Okay, here we go to the dance again. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, damn. Okay.
Okay.
No, no.
Oh, he's
Okay,
back.
okay,
He's
okay,
back.
okay.
He's
Okay.
back. He's back. Okay, go ahead, John.
Next.
You were talking about
dude,
printing on demand. Yep.
I would change my mic, but I don't have another one, man. Um,
Oh, it's okay.
so yeah, but like yeah, print on demand, and then maybe even Global Comics, putting the PDF on Global Comics, and then having it to where people can, I don't want to put a crazy price point on it, but I think it's like a good price point for that would be like you get to see all these pages we already showed, kind of get people interested, and then like a $3.99 or $4.99 to read the rest of the book and download the PDF. So we're kind of trying to
Yeah.
sell the book even after Kickstarter, just so we can bring in the funds to continue doing what we love. I mean, Ruben knows I'm working on multiple projects. I've got about 12 to 15 stories in my Google Docs, other than the last
Ooh.
wand.
Mhm.
I have a lot that I want to get to and get done, but comics cost money and they don't
Yeah.
always make the money back. But if you're consistent, then I've seen over and over again, consistency will bring you that following, will bring you the money to continue doing what you love. So any money, like I've said before, even with this campaign, is going straight into the continuation of this series and even possibly other comics if we have any left over from there.
That's awesome. That's the way that you do it because it's like you're not taking your fan base for granted. You want to build it, and
Mm-hmm.
you're you know that and you're being straight up. You're being honest. It's like there is no magic bullet. You don't have an instant fan base. You don't have this bottomless pit of resources that you can just pull together to make your dreams a reality. It's like with anything, it's like you got to put money in before you can make money at it. And first and foremost, it's just getting the story out there. So money isn't everything. It's necessary because you want to pay
Mm-hmm.
your artists, you want to make it a reality. Money, unfortunately, it has that's what makes things happen. But you realize too, it's like build that. It's like that field of dreams things. Build it, and they will come. You build a great story. you assemble great talent to like make that story reality, and then that's what you have. You actually have a portfolio, you have a book that you can start shopping around, and
Yeah.
that's a great story. You have a great insight in terms of that. I guess I just noticed that I got so wrapped up in like talking that I wasn't drawing. So Ruben, if you don't mind, could we add? It's up to you. Could we add 5 more minutes?
Oh, for sure, for
to
sure,
the
for
drawing?
sure, for sure.
Okay. All right. Okay. So good. Thank you so much, because that allows me to not be so embarrassed when I show you my chicken scratch of a drawing.
that
But,
that page you were on, Jared,
Mhm.
was actually, that is one of the spread pages of the shark. That was a spread page from one of the alternate endings, just to give kind of an insight.
Ah.
So if you look,
Okay.
that's Keon with a dragon. Like, how the heck did we get there?
Yeah, I know.
So that, dude, this is actually a spread page from one of the alternate endings, which the whole alternate ending will be in the past and futures edition when we come out with it. But yeah, just to kind of
Oh,
give reference to what we were working on.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, tease
See, and
that
I'll
thing.
explain. It's actually kind of cool you have it up right now, because I can explain real quick too. The reason we didn't use these pages is, how does Keon go from Earth to, in this case, another world? It was way too quick, and so we needed to slow it down. So, in this case, how is he entering another world? What is this world? Why is there a dragon involved? Like, it all happened so quick in the original, in one of the endings, that we were like, we need to slow it down before we get to this world. We need to build up this character, who he is, and things of that nature. Because I didn't want to just throw him into the mix. We had plans to travel multiple worlds, and to throw
Right.
him on, I would say, quote unquote, the final world. I don't want to do that. So we need to work up to that point, and that's why we didn't use that alternate ending.
Oh well, you just. I'm not gonna say it. I mean, you're the creator. It's not like you. I was gonna say
No,
you
no, no.
I was gonna say that it's like.
There's
What?
so
You
much
spoil
more
it? There's like
involved.
multiple.
No,
There's
no,
multiple
no.
worlds. Type
Oh,
stuff.
dude.
Yeah.
I,
There's.
I, I don't
That
think
just goes.
I don't think
Mhm.
that's a spoiler. It's more like
Yeah.
a route that we didn't
Mhm.
really want
Mhm.
to explore just yet.
Just
Yeah,
Let's
yet.
say that.
Just
exactly.
yet. Mhm.
Let's say that. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
kind of had like funny moments here. By the way, John, this is me presenting it.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah, so we kind of have funny moments here that we didn't present anywhere else,
Oh shoot! See,
which
you're making me watch this, and I'm not drawing again. And I'm like, that's just to show us that I don't. I guess with your drawing, because that's amazing. You're like amazingly fast. But yeah, this is incredible. More teases of like. So this
Oh
is
yeah.
an alternate ending that we're seeing right here, or is this
Yes.
this is
Yep. This
actual?
is one of the
Okay.
alternate endings. Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. All right, if you
yeah,
guys aren't hooked, on this, my audience, you're watching. Well, shame on you. I don't know what it's gonna take to make you realize this is just quality here, stuff. And this is even like alternate, and I can already see so much comedy. There's no an effective page, like a panel or a page, is before it even gets to lettering. When you add the dialogue to it, this just shows you're going to go back to that synergy between the two of you guys. You came up with these great stories, and these panels came out, and it's funny. I can see the humor in it and these expressions, but I don't know what's going on. It's like I do know what's going on, but I don't know specifics. It's just awesome, just to see that.
Oh
there's some
man,
funny
good
stuff here.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
good.
we're gonna have this, man. We're gonna have some funny moments.
Yeah, for sure. That's for sure.
On these other worlds that I would say we're gonna travel to, and these other characters are gonna travel to. We're gonna have some very funny, interesting creatures that may throw you off quite a bit, but are gonna be real fun. Oh yeah. This was
Yeah,
cool too, because this was our version of
uh,
teleporting. Was the Earth itself was pulling you through dimensions. So yeah.
so you even put a twist on that. Is that the actual environment pulls you through?
Yeah,
It's not
pulls
like
you to
you're jumping. You're not jumping through a
portals. Yeah,
portal.
yeah. No,
You're
no.
you're
Yeah,
actually that's a novel approach. I've never seen that depicted in there as well.
yeah.
In a
So
in a
so here he would be consumed by the sand, So like and then you would kind of wake up, not wake up, but yeah, be
Fly through the
teleported. Yeah, just flying here, just flying
Mhm.
towards like a missile, just flying and hitting his head like Big, big swelling, and then he
So,
notices that big ass
yeah. So when you're going through this process, John, with Ruben, do you come up with a comedy like general comedy, or does Ruben like go, okay, this would be funny if we did it this way?
Dude,
What is it like going back and forth, or what exactly is your process for that? Oh, cliffhanger!
yeah,
we lost him
okay.
again.
I'll take over. Yeah, so pretty much, yeah, we just do back and forth. So John is the mastermind, right?
Uh-huh.
There's no questioning it. So I always I need his guidance always, all the time, you know. So
Mhm.
he just lays out the ideas. Most of the time, he lays out the comedy, lays out every aspect of the story as it is.
Mhm.
And then if I can complement it, or if I can add something to it, if I can make it a little more juicy, I will. But honestly, yeah,
I see.
it's John, you know.
Mhm.
Like some things here, I would say that I did was just, I don't know, some expressions,
mhm.
a couple
Uh-huh.
of extra just movements, but nothing special, you know. Like it comes out of his mind.
That's all right. So I got the rundown there from Ruben. Do you want to say no? That's totally false.
No,
Or
no, dude.
is that exactly how it turns out? I mean, you want
He's
to add a little bit
he's a
to it?
bit kinder than I would even think, because really, I write the
Damn, John, come on, bro.
Oh, cliffhanger! You dropped off again. I have to tell you, Ruben, he is the master of keeping you intrigued.
You,
Like you're on pins
I'm
and
gonna
needles.
tell you.
Like,
I'm gonna tell you something. This is really bad luck on his part, because this never happened before, and I can vouch for
uh,
him on that.
uh
But
it's okay.
it's
We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with
yeah.
it. I know that this isn't typical. It's like sometimes the like I said, the gremlins come out of the woodwork.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
They work their magic.
but
Yeah, they work their dark
yeah,
magic, and
yeah,
technology is one
right.
of their many aspects. We all know how
Exactly.
technology is, like especially artists, like Photoshop.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I
I
guess,
know. How
yeah.
many times when your software doesn't agree with you and it's like,
Oh,
I can't.
yeah, yeah. You just have
Yeah.
to fight it. Yeah, you just have to. This is one of those days, and when it's
one
hard,
of those days, man.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Dude, I can't. I don't even know what to say. I'm like, I had literally never had this issue. I've done podcasts, other streams, so it's just
Uh-huh.
technology fighting against us today. But we will
It's
Yeah,
win.
okay.
that's okay.
We will
You're
conquer.
back. You're back. You're gonna
Yeah.
beat it. You're gonna beat just like Michael Jackson. You're gonna beat this thing. So
See.
It all
MJ is
comes
always with us.
around.
MJ is always with us.
he
He's
is
moonwalking
exist.
with us.
Yeah,
But yeah,
just moonwalk. Just moonwalk.
yeah, just
All right.
moonwalk.
Okay, so we are actually at the end of we went to 20 minutes with this one. So
Okay.
I would like to keep on drawing, but that would be me being selfish because I like hearing the story. But I also want to keep on drawing, but I'm gonna just I'm gonna call myself out and not keep on doing this. But yeah, let's go to Ruben. Could you share your illustration? Oh my, is this it? Can you zoom out a little bit? Let's check this out.
Yeah, I was just trying
Oh
to put the both characters together, kind of little bit.
yeah.
Is something biting his hand, Ruben?
Yeah, no. So this was supposed to be the skull. This was supposed to be
Oh,
this.
it's his belt. It's the belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
But
yeah,
that's still
I
oh
was
that
just
looks
working it out, you know.
yeah that looks great. I can already see where you're going with this, and I would heck since you're already working in like is that Abaddon that
Yeah,
we're oh so
yeah,
this would be actually a great continuation. You can actually segue into the next drawing, and fit to
yeah.
Abaddon.
Yeah,
Yeah, look
exactly.
at that. Now I know why you got him, John. Because John,
Yeah. Yeah.
he is so super efficient. He's already figured out a way to work Abaddon, which is our next drawing. So I just spoiled it. That's what we're going to be drawing. but let's just look. Let's just appreciate Keon here for a moment. And I love this. In that short amount of time, of course, you did get just a tad bit of a head start. And I think
I did.
you're my guest. You can definitely do it. But I can already see like um, the thing about I think successful characters, protagonists for comics, for animation in general, is like that silhouette. you know, and what I mean about is that the body language and the silhouette are there. And I can already see now that I got the Michael Jackson jacket, the wand. You know, we have all these things now that are signature to
Unique to the
Keon.
character.
And
Mhm.
if I think Ruben, if you were just to silhouette this and just put black all in the interior of inside of these
Mhm.
lines, I already see the strong silhouette setting up who Keon is. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really good. It just goes to show that you're a master. I
No,
see
thank you.
I see why John got you on this book, you know, because it looks really cool. I'm gonna check the if you want to keep, you can go ahead and keep on drawing there for a second. I'm gonna check the our sister page and see if anybody drew along with us. I hope they did. And let me do that. So bear with me while I'm doing this. John, I don't know if you want to, you know, as we move to the next one, is there anything else you want to like mention about Keon before we go to our next live drawing?
Yeah, so more or less, I think we've really hit a lot on Keon. I will express again, we will be definitely diving much more into the depths of Keon and who he is, and it's very very special and unique, and uh, we do even show some ideas. Like if you really dive deep into the work we're doing and some of the things we post on social media and whatnot, you'll start to see a direction for Keon. But it is definitely revealed in issue one who, not even who he is, but just uh, some of the things that are revolving around Keon that he doesn't even know are happening.
Right.
Excited to get that pilot out and introduce a lot of key characters, um, and Spectral Patrolman.
Exactly.
I knew it before it was coming, dude. I knew it.
You are a true Harry Potter fan. You already got that ready to go.
Yeah.
So cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we got anybody to fan draw with us, which is not. You know, it is Labor Day weekend here in the States. Hopefully, we can get somebody on the next one, but it is by no means a reflection of how awesome these characters are. It just so happens it is Labor Day weekend. So let me share my chicken scratch that I was able to put together
Man, I'm
to
excited. I want to
show
see it.
my fan art. I guess I get to be the official first fan art, maybe for you guys. I don't know. So let's see. Let me minimize this. Get our screens on here. Let me share my screen real quick.
You would be the first fan art for sure. Yeah.
Oh, then that means pressure on me. I might have to like finish this drawing and make it a little bit more fuller, so that way we can I can
Yeah.
be proud to be the first official. Okay, here we go. And so let me turn down.
Oh
the
dang,
light.
dude.
I want to turn. Maybe I should just turn the light off. Hold on 1 second. Oops. There you go. So can you see
Nice.
that? Does that show up a little bit better?
Yeah, dude. There's a lot
So
of expression in that.
yeah, I couldn't help but be inspired by listening to you guys, and I saw some of the artwork that Ruben did and his concepts that you shared with me, John. And he's a little bit more freer with his concepts, you know, that weren't in panels, and it showed that exaggerated perspective and action.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to like kind of do that too. It almost has a little bit. I want to say it has a little bit of a Japanese video game
It does.
artwork. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen like
Yeah.
Capcom artwork, and I
Yeah.
kind of fused that Capcom look with a little bit of that Harry Potter Ruben style here too.
I
And,
love it actually. I love it. Yeah.
well, thank you. And I hope it was a fitting tribute because I really dig what you guys
Yeah.
are doing. So let me put
That's
the light
awesome,
back on.
man.
Whoa, that just
That's
blows everything
awesome.
out. But yeah, totally digging it. It was an honor. I'm gonna probably finish this up a little bit later, maybe add some tighter lines. But Keon, he is the main and protagonist in the last one. We got to know him a little bit better. But if you want to know more, you got to buy the book. You got to support the Kickstarter. And we're going to share that a little bit later on. But I'm going to get rid of my cam. 1 second. Let me minimize this. Okay, so the one last look. This is Keon that we got to see draw live here with Ruben. So we're going to go to our next one, and I'm going to minimize. I'm going to take your screen out just for a moment, Ruben, because I want to show the finished art that was provided, so people can kind of understand who Abaddon is. So hold on one second, and let me share that PDF one more time. Seem to have lost it. Where's that PDF? Here we go. No, there. Share. See, that's why I need a co-host. I'm doing this all by myself. Here we go. All right, here we go. So, yeah. All right, so we have this, and let me go to the concept art. So this is Abaddon, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have him.
That's our boy.
He has and it's kind of cool about this. It's like that. Is that like a helmet that he has, or is his hair?
I'll let
Ruben.
I'll let Ruben explain that one. This is a cool idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wait.
so-
Before you do that,
Yeah,
Ruben, we're gonna actually. I'm just gonna show these first, and I'm gonna let you.
Mhm.
When we start doing the drawing, I'll let you go into the his character design, and you can go deeper. But I just want to show this to people, so people.
Okay,
I want to show
okay.
his both his looks. So we have this, and Ruben is gonna explain what exactly is that, a helmet, or is that like super gelled up hair that's impervious to like bullets? I have no idea. It could be that. We also have this where he doesn't have the helmet on. Let me zoom in a little bit here, so we can kind of like get a better view of this. And I just like this too. It's like this is going to be the new hairstyle for the end of 2022. Shave half your head, but you have to have it so long that you can put a man bun or an elf bun, I don't know, or some sort of bun.
A half man bun.
Half man bun on the one side of your head. This guy makes it look cool. Abaddon. It's so cool. We're going to also learn from John, like the meaning, like how he came up with Abaddon.
Yeah.
That's just a badass name. I just think it's a really, really cool name. It kind of like sounds like abandon, but, and the Dawn, being like a mafioso. He's the Dawn. I have no idea. I think it'd be kind of neat to hear why you came up with Abaddon. Very striking design. Obviously, there's going to be, there's people kind of like will get some parallels. Oh, he has kind of like a Thanos vibe.
Oh yeah,
going about him, but Thanos he may have had the Infinity Gauntlet, but he did not rock a belt like this. I mean, look at that belt. And so imposing. Got the claws going on, and of course, those skulls. If you're gonna do evil, nothing like putting a mound of skulls at their feet. Very, very cool. You have some other concepts here. And we're gonna go into actually drawing it. So I want people to check these out. If you're gonna draw along with us, do some screen captures. We'll wait a couple seconds, and then we're gonna go back to this. So let me zoom in a little bit here so we can see this really cool headpiece that he has. And of course, we have this. All right, so do your screen captures if you want to draw along with us. Molly, you're in there. I know that you're an artist. Aurelis, if you want to draw along too. And of course, you, Justin, if you want to draw along. And anybody else that might be watching, please do. All right, so let me get back your art screen back, Ruben. And I'm going to add that to the stream. I'm going to make that super big so we can see that. I'm going to set the clock up to 20 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and just do 20 minutes. And we'll start it right now. And we'll start with you, John. Let's talk about this particular villain, what he's about, and his name. Go for it.
Okay, yeah. So I'm about to be really careful with this.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No spoilers, but yeah, I know, right? He's probably over here like, please don't say it.
Oh,
cliffhanger.
Whoa, we lost your mic again. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to do a separate Kickstarter campaign, Ruben, to raise money to get him some new headphones.
Dude, hello.
Oh, you're back. You're back. Okay, here we go.
I think it's actually the software, because the software, I don't know what it is about the stream or whatever, but the software, it's like going in and out on the software, but everything on like my mic's end is saying that it's fine. So it's weird. But
it's my fault. It's restreamed.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's not your fault at all. I think it's just one of those glitchy things. But yeah, Abaddon. So Abaddon, it really was. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna kind of out myself. It was kind of simple. I was like, man, what's a
Oh,
Damn it.
cliffhanger!
Bro,
he is a
maybe
he's a
it
master.
just, yeah, it just has to kind of restart
Possibly.
his computer. I don't know.
Mm.
It's
Well, he
yeah.
said that it might be like I don't know.
I
He
think
said it was
it's
a
a
software.
yeah. I'm back. Hello, hi, how you
Okay.
doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Are you back? Okay.
I apologize, man. I if it goes out, just let me know. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
I might end up having to restart it, but I'm sure Ruben can hold the mantle
Okay.
on.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How about you go ahead and reboot and
Okay, will do.
get back in here, get back in as soon as you can, and then what we're gonna do, John, just to give you a heads up, we'll have Ruben while he's drawing just talk about the aesthetics, like his
Sounds
art
good.
direction from you, and then when you can come back, we'll learn what Abaddon, how that came up. Okay. All right. Come
Sounds
back
good.
as soon as you can. All
Right
right.
away.
So Ruben, the mic is in your hands. Let's talk a little bit about design. Like what John gave you in terms of direction and what you added on top of what he told you.
All right. So it's actually a pretty funny story because we found like Abaddon. I kind of so okay. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of things. He actually just came to me and said, "Just do the villain as you wish." And
Oh, really? He gave you
yeah,
like complete
yeah,
creative reign?
yeah.
Ah.
So I was like, okay, let me do an elf because I was writing a story about elves. I have my own story, and I kind of figured it out. Like, okay, let me just try to mesh things here, like mix it up a little bit, do a big villain like Thanos because this was more or less during the Infinity Saga. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Era of Marvel, and I got
Mm-hmm.
inspired a little bit, so I did a bulky elf. But he
Right.
did have a couple of things to himself, including half of his head being shaved, which is not just by chance. So he
Oh,
actually,
there's a meaning behind it,
yeah,
right?
there's a real
Ah.
meaning. So it was actually real pretty, and it was really different before his downfall. Let's say. Um,
Ah.
and yeah, so when um not getting into spoilers, but so fast fast forward a little bit, he gets stuck with a spell, right? And that spell kind of binds him to three roots, and binds him to his seat, and he's not able to move whatsoever. So for ages he's been stuck there, and the trees are actually trying to choke him. Um,
Consume him, right? Or
yeah,
kill
and
him.
it really
Yeah.
really choke him. If you see in the book later on, there's a couple of Easter eggs there, but you will see like he's really stuck there by his neck. He's sitting down, but he's stuck by his neck because the tree is permanently trying to
Uh-huh. To
wrap
kill
around
him.
his head, like, yeah, like a snake, like an anaconda. So
Yeah.
he does have a couple of subjects around him to help him kind of hack the tree from time to time to kind of help him breathe a little bit, but the tree is super strong, so he's not able to move. And as such, so half of his body was consumed, and uh, I guess deteriorated by the tree itself. So that's why
Oh.
half of his head is like not as pretty as it could be, because the
Hmm.
trees are actually attached to that side of his body.
That is so cool. So, like, was this direction that he gave,
Yes,
that
yes,
John
yes,
gave
yes,
to
yes,
you? Okay. All
yes,
right.
yes.
Okay.
It was
But
purely John.
you, right? But you added to it because once he described to you in terms of like him being imprisoned or being strangled like an anaconda, like by these tree
Yeah,
roots, you
yes.
decided like aesthetically half of his body is going to look like it's like thorny, like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
actually
yeah,
been
yeah,
bonded.
yeah, yeah.
That was something that you added,
Mm-hmm.
once you heard
Yes,
more of what the story was, right?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes,
got it.
yes. And
So
that's
like
the
this
funny
is
thing. Yeah. Go
uh-huh.
ahead.
Oh,
Sorry,
I was going
sorry.
to say this is the example of what we were talking about, the synergy, right? Where you
Hmm, hmm.
collaborate with each other to come up with this really great story. But go ahead, what were you going to say?
No, no, yeah, that's the funny. Exactly, I was actually saying the same thing. It was funny, like the way that we synergized the concept for Abaddon, because we didn't have anything in mind, and then I
Uh-huh.
threw a couple of crumbs, he threw in a couple of crumbs, and then we have a full bread, you know.
Oh
And
yes.
yeah, so this is what's real fun to me, and kind of uh, the, the real pleasure in making these types of things, you know,
Yeah. So would you
put
say like this
together.
is one of your you mentioned that you're doing lots of other projects and other
Yeah, yeah,
comic projects. Do you get the same kind of creative freedom that you and John have on
yeah,
those, or
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
or do they just sort of like tell you this is the way that I want it,
No,
Ruben? You gotta
of
like.
course. So there's IPs and IPs, right? So
Mhm.
we have it's like working for Marvel. You don't go for Marvel. Don't go working for Marvel and start drawing Spider-Man another type of way. Yeah, like I don't know,
Uh,
like there's IPs that are already established, then of course that I need to follow
uh,
the rules, and
okay.
I'm not that free when it comes to stray away
Hmm.
from what it is. But most of the times, yeah, all all of the people that I've worked with are pretty. Um,
Flexible, like in terms of
yeah,
like.
exactly. Yeah, they let me go
Mm.
ahead and have my way most of the
Oh,
times, which is actually
awesome.
pretty cool.
Okay, we got John back. John, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Now, so we just heard from Ruben. He just mentioned about like the look of Abaddon in terms of like how you gave him some uh, uh, descriptions in terms of like him being imprisoned by like plant elements, and like he's being strangled or almost
Mm-hmm.
like being killed like an anaconda, like these tree limbs that are like strangling him. But he's found ways to survive it, and
Mm-hmm.
he's actually absorbed it, and that's the reason why half his body is almost like plant-like. It has like thorns, and that's why half his hair is missing.
Yeah.
So he mentioned to me that it was a you gave him a lot of creative freedom in terms of like coming up with a look. You just sort of gave him an outline in terms of like
Mm-hmm.
this is the way that I think Abaddon should look, because I mean that how he I see him in my head because I'm writing him this way. So,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to add a little bit more to that before you talk about the name Abaddon? Do you want to add to anything that I just mentioned there?
Yeah. So yeah, creative freedom, man. That's like the way to go. I believe as a writer. Yeah, there are some things in the books that you want to have exactly the way you write it, but I will tell you something. It's smart. I would say it's wise to lean on your artist's perspective of things,
Mm-hmm.
because they are the ones who are putting your words into the page and into the
Right.
art. So with him, yeah, we definitely had a concept for him, just an idea, and there's reasons as to why the roots and whatnot. That's actually part of the story and how they're connected to him. But then Ruben offered the idea of the same thing that could possibly be a curse or something that is hurting him is also the same way he's using it to survive. And so there was some really cool back and forth when it came to that, and that's kind of how we got the concept. And missing half his hair and his and a lot of those things on his face really comes
Mm-hmm.
from just a long time of being the roots and whatnot working off of each other from the pain and everything, and also using them to stay alive.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I get the feeling too, and I don't know if this is spoilery or not, but
Hey,
stop
you
me.
take your shot, take your shot.
Well, you mentioned about doing like you're thinking big picture. It's like you're thinking
Hmm.
MCU, and this is going
Yeah.
to be the John Schell rhythm Riven. Is that the correct Riven comics?
Raiden,
Yeah. Rhythm.
Raven. Yeah. Oh man, I
Ri-
guess
ri-
I'm having my trunks drunk moment here.
oh, you're
But
good, you're good.
I'm basically thinking you're thinking the big picture. And I remember you were saying that you already have like some aside from your other IPs that you're developing. You also
Hmm.
are thinking that within the Last One universe, you mentioned that you are thinking about maybe doing like prequel stories or like tangents where you have other characters, and it's sort of like maybe talking about Abaddon and maybe about his before he became what he is right now, the way that he looks right now. It's like I almost get this impression that he's an elf, and I think the stereotype of an elf, unless you think of maybe dark elves or stuff like that, is like, oh, they're so beautiful, or they have such a non-thorny look, which is he has right now. And so, what is that? Did I hear that right during the pre-show that you were thinking about maybe doing like Abaddon before his fall, like maybe?
Yes. So,
Okay. So that's not spoiler, is it?
no, it's
To
not a
talk about that.
spoiler. So the whole idea behind, the first issue is it's the pilot, and I call it the centerline story. So it's
Okay.
more the centerline story. It's a story that we will continue to come back to.
Mhm.
It's the same story, but what we wanted to do, or I guess my whole dream was to base this massive story with a bunch of lore and characters around a centerline story, and then branch off and then tell each individual story, kind of like you have Spider-Man and you have Iron Man. They all have their individual stories, but in the end they always come back together, they all meet. And so
Uh-huh.
that was the idea. And so issue 2 is actually going to be following one of the characters from the pilot, and it's an action packed, it's already written and we're already working on it. But it's going to follow a specific character from issue 1, the pilot, and his story a long time ago. Whether or not that's Abaddon or not, you'll
Mhm.
have to you have to read once,
Read
or
the
see
book.
once it comes out, exactly.
Mhm.
And follow each character and their adventures, because the real beautiful thing about the last one is each story, yeah, each character has an awesome story. Each
Mhm.
of Keon's friends has an awesome story. The villains have an awesome story. Even the side characters have an awesome story. I really wanted everyone to have value that we put in the book, and so we don't. You think of this. It's a massive undertaking to do that. I mean, it's really, like we talked about even in the pre-show, is you have so much lore and so much content. How do you fit that in comics? I mean, how the heck do you do that without having 100 issues? Well, who knows what this will go to. But I also wanted to take this from the perspective of, uh if you pick up a comic book, like one of the series comic book, you can read it from beginning to end, and I wouldn't say not have to know what the original issue was about, but that
Yeah.
book itself could stand alone and
Yeah.
take you through a fun and adventurous time. And if you like that book, let's say you pick up issue 3 and you're like, oh man, I can follow this story, but I want to know what happened before this. You can go ahead and do that, but you still enjoyed issue 3. So we're really taking that approach to the series, because I know there's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, if we're on issue 4 or 5 and people come in, then they're going to be like, well, how the heck do I get to read 1 through 3, right? So
Mm.
Yeah.
we're trying our best to make that as I guess as easy to swallow as possible. And so that's kind of how we're going about it. But issue 2 is going to actually be following one of these characters from issue 1. And like I said, it's an action packed. Like we really go to the extreme when it comes to the action, the magic, and things of that nature. And like I said with issue 1, this is definitely the pilot. We have some magic, we have some fun stuff in it, some drama, some mystery, as you've seen in those preview pages. But we really dive deep into the magic and whatnot in issue 2.
What you're saying is, uh, I don't know if you've I've I haven't read like the Game of Thrones books, or like George R. Martin kind of
Mm-hmm.
handles it, but he kind of, like, from what my friends who have read it, they they've described, like, there'll be like whole chapters which it only focuses on one of the characters, or a
Exactly.
group of characters, and then he'll go back and he'll talk about another group of characters, but it's not like the time has advanced. It's actually like talking about those characters at the same time as the previous chapter, but he'll dedicate telling their story during that same time period. So I get the impression that's kind of like what you're doing. You want to break things down so that they're somewhat self-contained, kind of like how Mike Mignola does with Hellboy. He does like
Mhm.
story arcs, so you feel like you can feel satisfied in like hearing or reading a story, and not feel like totally intimidated that, oh man, I had to like read like everything before this to understand what's going on, right? Is that your kind of approach
E-
that you're talking about?
Exactly. So like going back to what I was saying with the pilot, this is really introducing the characters. The next 3 issues right now are planned out to follow one character. And his from the time of introducing him to where he is in the pilot, really is how we're going about that. And I guess I can say it is going to be following Abaddon, from his
Yes.
upbringing on the elven world of Krios. It is
Uh,
going to follow from where he came from, and then I'm not going to really get into how he becomes who he is now, but it's quite a story to follow. So I'm excited to really dive into that in issue 2, because Abaddon was really, and you know, Keon's a huge character, right? He's the main protagonist, but Abaddon was really honestly just as close to our hearts as creators
Hmm.
as Keon. And I've always said it: your hero or your main protagonist is only as good as your villain. So
that's right.
a lot of thought, and a lot of time went into Abaddon's character and creation.
Mm. I love that. I love that because I think that a successful story uh, is only as good as the writer. I have to say that it needs to be planned.
Hmm.
A good example of it of I'm gonna get a little bit biased here, but bad storytelling is like think about the recent Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Oh
It
yeah.
wasn't planned. I mean, it was like I'll give props. There
Uh-huh.
were some highlights in all three
There
movies.
were some very
Very
good
few,
things there.
yeah, very few in the second one. But I'm just gonna say that that what
Mm.
happened that was like relying on all the nostalgia that when they introduced new characters, what made the characters from the original trilogy and even like the prequel trilogy was there was thought in terms of like more than what was just done at that very moment on the
Hmm.
screen. There was a history that maybe was untold or a future that was in mind going forward. When you go beyond that initial screening, and you're telling me you've planned it. You're figuring out
Hmm.
pacing, you're figuring out ways to make new things, and that's what's sad. With some storytelling, I love J.J. Abrams. I think he's a visionary with certain things, but the guy, it's like it's like he can't stick to the landing. He comes up with all these great concepts. Lost was a good example. All these high concepts, and the payoff was just so lackluster because I don't think he knew what he was going to do with all the buildup. And I like my impression from you for your storytelling is what Abaddon is, where he's come from. You don't know. I mean, you're not going to share all the insight that you have, but everything that he does in his motivations in the first issue, they're all because of what you already determined was his
Hmm.
past and stuff like that. Um, Great, I love that. I love that you're thinking that way. And I think is that another reason? Like you mentioned before, um, when you decided to create the last one, is that you saw a lot of storytelling that was out there and or movie, and you kind of like were dissatisfied, right? You kind of like
Hmm.
saw like a movie, and then you said, you know what? I'm not one of those guys who's just going to be a complainer. I'm going to like do something. I'm going to write my
Do it
own
the way I
story.
want to. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I mean, you don't have to say what movie it was unless you want to. But
No, no.
but
I don't even
I'd
remember,
I'd
to be
like
100% honest.
because the important thing is you just to be motivated for you to do it. So do you want to talk a little bit about that? Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say, if you, I mean, even the villains in some movies say like, "Oh man, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself." I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say that I'm that guy that can do everything perfect or anything like that, but at least I was willing to try. And I tell a lot of creators
Yes.
that you miss. I actually posted this up on my Twitter today, but you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take. And so, really, in this case, I wanted to create something that I knew I would like. And, Stan Lee actually made a few videos about like, hey, if you like it, guess what? More people are actually probably going to like it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not always the
Mm-hmm.
case, but a general rule of thumb is if it's something you love, there's got to be more people out there like you that are going to love it. So I took that and I ran with it, and started creating, really, I think that kind of bred the amount of stories I have now. I mean, my stories span every genre, and it's because I took all these things and all these genres that I really liked, and I decided to make them my own. And so, yeah, that's kind of how we came about the making of the last one, and like my inspiration to
Mhm.
creating comics.
Yeah, and I think that's important. That's a good lesson. That's a good thing or example to set for our audience. If you're watching this and if you have that story that's in the back of your head, and you always want it to like like you want to tell it, is that you just got to make it happen. There's with the internet, there's just so many other people. Chances are you're going to find. It's like you said. Stan Lee said that like you mentioned that there's going to be somebody that'll like it, but to help you realize it, find your Ruben. Find find somebody out there that's gonna help you, realize
Yeah,
that dream. And the important thing is to make it happen, to get it done, to make your vision happen. Because if it's only in your head, that's where you'll only know about it. Nobody else will be able to experience it. Nobody else will be
Yeah.
able to know what
for sure.
could
Yeah.
have been. Yeah, and that's something that I want to say that's inspiring me about your story. John, you said, hey, I got like tons of stories, and you found in Ruben the guy who said, promise me that if we tell the story that it'll be shown. It won't just be sitting on a shelf.
Hmm.
So always good to have that kind of example. So like John, just for my own, are you thinking about this is just a story about beyond your relationship with Ruben, because we talked about he's actually he's doing other comics while he's
Hmm.
working with you. Do you see yourself like do you have other artists that you're looking at too, or is Ruben going to help you think out these other visions? Or
Yes.
yeah, so
Yeah.
what is
So
your
yeah.
you
Yeah, so I
want to
do
talk
I
about
do
that?
have other artists, and Ruben, Ruben, I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating on you, bro. Um, no. He and I have talked about. What's funny is I actually filter my other stories and the art that I'm looking at through Ruben. So I
Yes.
bring Ruben, my artist, the other artist, and I'm like, hey, what do you think? Like, hey, do you like this
Mhm.
guy? And he tells me, hey, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be bad. Hey, we got to do a trial run with this guy. So Ruben's kind
Yeah.
of like my consultant when it comes to finding other artists for different books I'm working on. And I'm actually
Yeah.
working on another book right now where I brought him the artist. It's a female, great artist, and he said, "Well, let's do a trial run." And we did a
Mhm.
trial run with her, and wow! So I have
Yeah.
4 pages
She's
of that
really
book
good.
already done, and I have the concept art
Woo!
already done.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, going back to the whole like money and funds aspect of things, with her it's a different, I would say working with any artist is very different. So like my main focus is the last wand, right? That's my baby, but I want to tell these other stories so badly, but at the same time you can't split funds between 5 comics at one time. So with
Right.
her, I'm paying, I would say, in scenes. So I wrote the
Mhm.
book out and I'm like, hey, I'm going to save up this amount of money and I can pay you this amount of money for these 5 pages, right? And it's all one scene. So I also believe in,
Mhm.
if you're going to work in that manner, I think you need to give them the all one scene, right? I don't, if you split a scene in half, an artist is always growing, right? And always changing. You may have different
Right.
art when you come back to it later if they start in the middle of a scene when you have the money. So I try to
Uh-huh.
work in that way if I can't pay for it all up front.
Uh-huh.
But in this case, yeah, like you said, I am working with other artists. I have another artist in mind for a one shot. But yeah, I do definitely look at other artists, their work, and I admire uh, all different forms of art. But
Yeah.
Ruben, yeah, he's my main man for this whole deal, and he knows it. This is
Well, yeah.
this is, I say our baby.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I wasn't saying that to to make it like, I'm not cheating on you, Ruben. It's not that. I just wanted to say that it's what you just described to me is awesome. That shows you as a from a writer creator, how you're able to delegate things, how you're able to like sort of put things in their own boxes, so that nothing gets neglected, but you realize that you got to like water this box. And I'm going to go with these plant themes because we were talking about trunks and we're talking about
Yeah.
allodonin. So I'm going to go with these like plant themes. So where you can like you fund a project like the last one. Once that's successful, you can have additional funds that you'll build from that to tell the other stories, help other artists in your stable, and kind of like build your universe. But you realize
Hmm.
that you got to do it in pieces. You can't just go for broke in the sense of like I don't have like this trust fund that I can just pull from, and it's like, yeah, let's do my 15th title and throw something against the wall and see if it sticks. You know, you're being very deliberate. You're finding the talent, seeing if there's a good connection, and then of course you're leveraging your relationship that you have with Ruben, you know, to vet artists. So I like that. I think that's really cool.
That's awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just realized as we were talking that time has expired. So I'm gonna have to put pencils down myself, and I'm gonna look up. And I knew this was gonna happen. It is just awesome. Ruben, you want to zoom in? So for those of you who just joined, Ruben actually took his first drawing, the live drawing, which was of Keon, and he added who's the hero, the protagonist. With the notorious Michael Jackson jacket, and then added Abaddon, which was our second live drawing subject, and he's one of the antagonists. And you know what? This looks like this could be like a cover.
I literally was thinking the same thing. I was like, "Is this a cover?"
It's like a cover concept. He has like this. Yeah, he has all this negative space that just happens to fit a logo there. You can mix it up. I could see the trade dressing, being, you could where you put the UPC code and the price, and it almost has this thing where I have no idea where the story is going. Is Abaddon, because it doesn't look like, I don't know if he's sneaking up on him, but it also could be like maybe Abaddon is teaming up with him. I don't know. And, maybe there's a greater evil. I just think that there's so much potential for storytelling. And this is what I like about your characters and seeing them illustrated by Ruben, is that they're not just pinups. There's an implied narrative. There's something in there that grabs you and like makes you wonder, what's behind this illustration. And I don't want to infer too much. I know this was somewhat spontaneous, unless you and John got together in your Discord, the Avocado Discord,
Nope.
and decided, all right, this is a secret story. We're gonna drop some hints, when we do these live.
Yeah, it was freestyle. Honestly, it was just freestyle.
It's just freestyle.
Hey, I love the past and
He's
future.
so humble.
Yeah.
But anyway, this could be a potential, we saw it here on Comics Cast, let it out first. This could be a potential cover for maybe a trade or maybe issue number 2. I have no idea, but we got to see it here. I love it when we can have that kind of exclusive. So anyway, let me go to the comments section. So go ahead and keep on drawing while I look at some of the comments, and I'm going to check the art show to see if anybody drew with us. So let me pop up some comments here. Let's see. We have we got Atomic Art here, who is a friend of mine from one of the Discords that I frequent. So I'm glad that he was able to pop in here. And he's a very talented, super young artist. I'm glad to see artists that are. I get the impression he's like in his early teens, and I have to say that if I drew with like him, I would be like crazy. That would be awesome if I dedicated my time. Do you know anything about Atomic Art? Have you
For sure. He and I have talked quite a bit. He's probably in the same Discord that we're in. I'm in Comics Drawing Hangout. So
you're in there too.
Yeah, I'm in there.
What is your name on there? That's the thing
Rhythm
about it.
Comics. Yeah, I actually have. I think I actually have my own spot in there. I've been in there since a long time ago.
I know. I feel like I didn't know you until I knew you. It's like I'm a fan of your stuff, and I just never equated those two things together. Oh my gosh, this is like all roads lead to like certain Discords. I feel like so now I know who you are. And I don't know why I didn't put those two together until now. But yeah, Atomic Art. So Atomic. Atomic does some incredible stuff.
Great guy.
It's awesome to see
I'll work with him in the future for sure.
Yeah, he's a great talent. It's nice to see young people doing that. So now that Atomic, thank you for making me know who John is. So now I don't know, John, if you know who. I'm just known as JM on that.
Yeah, I've seen your work on there. Yep.
Yeah, we just haven't. Oh, man, I feel like a total idiot. Anyway, let's keep on going from there. We got Saeed, who's always been on a lot of our shows. He when I told you about the international flavor that we have for talent that's on this show, we also have an international flavor when it comes to our audience. Saeed hails from like I don't want to say he's like from Dubai.
Oh,
Not
wow.
exactly sure. He's from the Middle East, so you have Middle East that are checking out your work there, John and Ruben. Tomic
Nice.
came up with another comment. John, this is awesome. And I think you mentioned you saw it, of course. And me being the oblivious person, I didn't see that. But he says, yeah, I'm all here for support. That's so great. And Tomic followed up with another comment here. Creativity and storytelling and what John has here is phenomenal. It's done right. I
Thank you.
couldn't agree more. We also, another international representation. This is coming from Brazil, Alpha Brain Art Studios, Rod Rodolfo, also known as AKA Rodimus Prime, if you know Transformer lore. He was my guest before, but he says, hey guys, keep up the awesome work. And, so we got Brazil in the house as well. And then we got Ed Williams, who came in here. What's up, Gerald Motos? Inspiration. Ed is another great artist. He's actually closer to me. He's on the East Coast. He's actually between you and me, John. You being in Florida, I'm in Virginia. I think Ed is somewhere in the Carolinas. So
Nice.
we got a nice bit of representation there. Ed, I wish you would have joined a little earlier. You could have drawn along with us. And same with you, Alpha Brain Rodimus. You could have drawn along too. You have to come in later on and do that. Let me check our art show and make sure that maybe somebody snuck in and drew along. Let's see. No one drew along with us. I just want to let anybody who's in the stream that you can do it on demand, watch the show a little bit later. Just let me know that you drew, and you could tag Ruben and John. Let them know because they'd be happy to see fan art of their IPs and OCs. So very cool. Ruben, my last look at your artwork here, just incredible. It's nice to see what you can do in a short amount of time. And I just can't keep saying it enough. John, I see when you were going out there trying to find that perfect artist to represent your story, I see what you see. Just really, really, really phenomenal talent here. So I would be excited, Ruben, if you take us to the next level. Please share with me, share with the art show, share with our our Comics Cast webpage, our Facebook page. Let us know what this looks like. I feel like this is an inside track that I've never. That I like exclusives. I love exclusives. All right, so let me share my artwork real quick. Oh yeah, I'd love to see that, Ruben. Let me share my screen real quick. And then we can move to the next part of the show. So let's do this. And here we go. All right. So I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So I had to vibe off the whole Thanos look. So I kind of had him look like the extreme worm's eye view. That's that skull belt. Definitely a signature item.
I love it actually.
Yeah, signature. Yeah, and I tried to put those thorns on the that side of his face.
Yes.
It's really,
I like the eye, really man. The eye really stands
cool,
out.
Bro. Yeah, really cool, bro.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to reverse it out. So like one eye, kind of like you could have the Gambit eye, where it's like the where the whites of your eyes are actually black, and then and then have the iris colored, and then on the other eye have the whites of the eye white and stuff like that. I don't know. That's just something that I thought would be kind of a neat thing to do, but it's
we actually
it's so
did
cool.
That.
Oh, you did it! I had to I have to go back. Yeah, and see, hear me trying to take credit for something that you guys did.
No.
It makes sense. No, it makes sense, bro. It makes sense.
Yeah, and I look at the artwork and I go, oh, perfect. He did it. Yeah, and it's just really cool. So I love what you guys are doing. Just incredible work. Let me get this off the screen. And we're going to look. So here, Ruben is already hinting. He's already converted this to like a blue line. And so that means he's possibly going to ink this thing, make it look like a finished cover. So, John, I know that you are probably going to have some words with him and say, hey, can we...
he and I are already on the same wavelength. We already know what this is going to.
Well, I think you guys share the same brain. You got like the mother brain. Oh, and hey, we got a comment here from Rod from Alpha Brain Art Studio. Rod, post it to the art show on Facebook. That's our sister page. And or we're friends. You can send it to me in a direct message, and I'll be happy to share that. And let's see. Yeah, so definitely do that, Rod. I'm looking forward to that. And while we're gonna keep on going with the show, I can share that a little bit later on. But before we go to that, I just want to address one thing that we talked about before we started drawing Abaddon, or two things: his name, like Abaddon, and when we showed that teaser art, there was his helmet. What exactly? I got the impression it's probably built into the fact that he's been tortured by like the plants and the roots, and maybe that's the reason what it is. But I'm gonna let you guys talk about it. What is the meaning? What is the meaning behind the name and that awesome helmet?
I'll hit the name,
John?
and I'll let Ruben do the helmet. But yeah,
Okay.
the name was pretty. Honestly, it was kind of easy. So I was like, man, what is a villainous name? And in this case, what is a name that I can split in half to have maybe a name that he was once called and then changed later. So with Abaddon, I looked up like demons and all kinds of things, and Abaddon is actually a demon of the abyss. So I found that definition going through some of the more biblical terms of demons and angels and things of that nature. I'm like, dude, this is like Abaddon is just perfect. And so that's where his name came from. So and we'll see an issue in the next issues, maybe what his name used to be and things of that nature. So
so again, this is John being the chess player that he is. He's thinking 5-10 steps forward. So what you see right now is just the surface, and he's already thinking about deeper things about his former name, building off what his name is right now. I like it. I mean, when you can have like historical, biblical, like if there's other references, because a name is a powerful thing, and if it has like additional storytelling that's layered on top of it, that just adds to it. All right, so Rod got back to me, and he has some artwork here to share. So let me bring that up. So he officially is another fan of you guys, and I'm going to share this right now. So here we go.
This is some of the first fan art. Oh, dude.
This is incredible. I almost get like these elfin vampire Dracula like vibe to it as well. Rod, you nailed it. And he did this. It looks like he just freehanded this with a ballpoint pen. Which is crazy, because if I tried to do this, it just looked like an ink mess. So it's just really neat that he's able to do that. So okay, we got some more fan art for you guys. Yeah, just incredible stuff. Thank you, Rod, for doing that.
Thank you.
Let me get this off here. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's talk your Kickstarter. We did our live drawing. I just want to let anybody in the audience, if you do want to submit your artwork to our art show page, you can, and just make sure you tag Ruben and John, and they'll be happy to check it out. And I encourage you, John and Ruben, you will have access to the comments that were made during the stream. And I encourage you, like if there was any, posts or any comments that I missed, feel free to answer any of them or talk to them. It's nothing like building a nice relationship with, future fans. So definitely check that out. All right. So let's talk. We've seen some of the artwork here. I'm going to share your Kickstarter page. So let's get this up right now. So go to the Chrome tab and let's build this up. All right.
It's cool to see the fan art come in too, because this is like the original fan art. Like this is the first time we've had fan art made too, so it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think that's just one of the things. Like you've entered that next level. You've been fans, and now you have fans. You're Ruben. He's always had fans, He's
He's
better 4 years old. I'm just kidding. Now that I know who you are on that comic drawing hangout, you got a following on there too, John. Just nice to see that. But here, let's talk about this. This is where you guys came together. You 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I can see like the scrolling titles, like watching a Star Wars movie, which shows it was a great civil unrest, and the two of you guys came together to do the last wand. It's like the scrolling titles of like your story. I just love that. This is impressive to me. Whenever I have creators who have Kickstarters that are going along, it means a lot when I can see, one, that they're successful, but two, one of the most important numbers is the number of backers. 87 backers. That means, and I say this all the time, unless Ruben and you, John, have 87 family members and friends who are just having pity on you and decide to back your Kickstarter, that's impressive. But I think these are 87 original people. You may have some family members, friends here and there. Let's maybe discount 10 of them to that. But that just means like there are 77 backers that don't know you, that just saw the artwork, were intrigued by seeing social media posts, and said, you know what, I believe in these guys and I want to back you. And that's impressive. You want to talk about your feelings? Well, because you guys both were on the pre-show yesterday, and you were funded while we were doing the pre-show. I was just ecstatic. Tell me about your feelings. Like, what do you see? How do you feel when you see these numbers?
Oh, I'm sure Ruben and I are on the same page. We we poured a lot of love into this, man. And like to us, it's a stepping block into I guess for me it's a stepping block, and Ruben it's another stepping block into becoming creators and more putting ourselves out there. I will say, like, I may be a writer, and I may have a million stories that I want to write, but until you see something even as small as this success, it doesn't feel real. And so once this funded the other day, I felt a huge sense of accomplishment, especially after Ruben and I, we've been through a lot in the past few years making this. You just see it all come together, and we're excited for the future. We're excited to see where this goes. This is only the beginning. We love this medium. We've been in it for a long time, so we're super excited. Super happy to have something of like this magnitude successful, and like I said, this is only the beginning.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Ruben, do you want to talk about your feelings? I feel like you need to open up and share. I don't know. How did you feel? I mean, now it's let's go. We went back in time there, and when you decided to work on the last one, you told John, you said, I have one condition. And that condition was it's going to get published. It's going to happen. So now, it's going to happen. It's been funded. You got 87 backers. 8 more days? 8 more days or 6 more days to go.
Days, yeah.
Yeah. How does that make you feel that this is going to get done?
Yeah, it's like a dream, man. It's been 3 years. 3 years of sweat, blood, and tears. So it feels good, like that our fears were just fears, We fought them through, and it's crazy. It's crazy, and it's rewarding, honestly.
I had to say that. I had to say your grandmother, your daughter, John, your grandmother, Ruben, they are smiling down on you guys right now. I mean, this is an incredible achievement. I can only imagine what you guys probably felt, because it's one of those things that it's happened. It's tangible. Of course, John, you got like 25 copies behind you. Now you're going to get those to 87 backers. It's going to be out there in the world. You're going to be hitting those cons. And I'm just scrolling through the page right now. I will post the link a little later on, because I don't want anybody to go there just yet. I want people just to be here to see these guys. Multiple covers that you can get. You can see that, like Ruben said, blood, sweat, and tears went into this project, and it shows that perseverance, the quality has come up. It's phenomenal, and I'm just so happy that it's going to actually be shared with the world. Here are the boys. We didn't actually talk a little bit about this. These are some of the side characters that John mentioned. That apparently he's already written, or he's already had backstories for these guys. Not to be confused with Backstreet Boys. These are backstory for these boys. These are his crew. Keon's crew, and you got to buy the book so you can kind of like see who these boys are. And again, this is a testament to Ruben's work here, because the body language alone in some of these characters, it's like I was talking to you guys during the pre-show. I was like, wow, I kind of want to hear some of these stories, because they definitely have draw inspiration from. I think this guy reminds me of Johnny Bravo or something like that.
Yeah,
he kind of has that look to him. But yeah, so check this out. I'll put a link to this Kickstarter. We'll share this at the end. Actually, I'll go ahead and put it into the. Let me go back up to the top, and you can do a search for The Last Wand in Kickstarter. But let me see if I can find here. This is the short URL. So I'm going to put the short URL in the comment field. And don't go there just yet. But one of the other things that you guys dropped on me during our pre-show was this. If you scroll, it's a bonus. I almost felt like you guys needed to put that closer to the top.
I'm thinking about it.
Because this goes to show like what I think of you guys in the future. And we're gonna talk about the future too, when we wind down. But this is your relationship. The two of you, like I said, brothers from another mother. You guys share the same brain. I don't know what it is, but it's like when you bounce ideas off each other, it's like it's not a competition. It's that creative synergy. You will send an idea to Ruben, and Ruben will add his creative collaborations, and you get like stronger characters. You get like a new kind of perspective on a panel. He sends it back to you, John. John, you say, well, hey, it would be kind of cool if we work in an avocado. No, I'm just kidding. No, you say, hey, let's add some, let's add some humor to this or something like that. And then you come up with like a humorous take on it, and then you send it back to him, and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, here's some story, like a storyboard that I was thinking. And then Ruben goes, hey, let me do an animation for you. It's like, I was like, where did this come from? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this little animated sequence. And this is to show, I think, Ruben, you told me you've never done animation before. Is that correct?
Never.
Yes. This is Ruben's first crack at doing animation. And he comes across as like, I've seen animatics that are done by pro storyboard and, who do animatics, and they build these things in. Your stuff is on par with it. I mean, it's not something that you would see on like Cartoon Network yet, but it gets the point across. There's so much great storytelling on another level, and this goes to show that relationship that John has with Ruben. So let me play this, and I want everybody to just be in awe. I mean, I know what they're saying, but it doesn't matter. It's like, look at the expressions and the body language and the effects. Look, he just teleported into like a big tree. That's just, oh my. Oh yeah, well there's little, yes, it's an Elvish from the heart. So like just some subtitles here. So look at this. I just had serious like Lord of the Rings vibes, like the Uruk-hai attacking Boromir.
Yeah.
And that's just, oh my, yeah, it is just incredible. This is not something you just do in your free time. It's like, hey, I'm gonna just
exactly. But it was.
What is your idea of free time? Just like, I think you can maybe you have a superpower to make time stand still while you do your first animation.
Many times I thought about it. I wish.
Look at that. I mean, it's not even just like old school Hanna-Barbera, moving, like a background that scrolls while you have foreground characters that kind of like do. It's like, it almost looked like you were rotoscoping things. Like if you guys are big fans
I was.
Oh, Well, you pulled it off. I mean, I don't know if you guys watched the old Frank Frazetta Fire and Ice. I don't know if you've seen that. I mean, it
Yes.
was an
Mhm.
animation that was done like way back in the 80s.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was looking at this, and I don't know, John, did you like send him like a script where you kind of like said, well, this is kind of like what I see like as a storyboard for panel work, and then all
It
of a
was
sudden he
supposed
comes
to
up
be
with this animation.
pages. Yeah, these were supposed to be pages. So I wrote out like kind of like an ash can of like, you know, maybe something that
Uh-huh.
happened in the past. And he's like, hey, just want to let you know I did an animation. I just want to show you this. And I'm like, Ruben, why? Why did you do this to me, dude? Like I
Oh
was
yeah.
just,
Oh.
you know, oh my gosh.
But it's cool. Like if you go back and check the the colored version, it'll
Uh-huh.
be even a bit.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, let's do that. So I just want to pop this comment, Sarah. Again, more
thank you.
international eyes on you guys. Sarah hails from Egypt. So now we got
Oh, wow.
Egypt in the house, who's now you can add to your fan list of international fans, you know, that you have there. So let me and this is like down to the wire, right before we went live. Ruben and John were talking, and Ruben was rendering some video while this was all going on. So let me pull up the illustration for it. Okay, I mean not the illustration, but the animation. I want to make sure, is this the colored version? Okay, this is not the colored version. Is it number one? Number one MP4? Is that the correct
Yeah.
I
one?
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me get that ready to go.
This is the intro, the colored intro showing.
Oh gosh. I want to know what time portal you go to where you can stop time and learn animation and do this quick. Oh my gosh. All right, let me share this. So stop sharing screen. Let me go to share screen. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay. All right, share this. All right. So if I could find like the Howard Shore Lord of the Rings trailer music to play along with this, that would only make this sweeter. But let's go ahead and play this. So this is something that Ruben in his free time threw together. I mean, it's just whatever. look at this.
Oh man,
Oh.
that's so beautiful.
Oh, did it go blank? Hold on a second. All right.
Yeah.
Did everybody see that? Or actually, I think it kind of like kicked out. Hold on one second. Let me reshare. I went my computer for some reason. I think John, whatever you had is infecting my computer because it just went to like screensaver mode for some reason. All right, let me share this one more time. Okay.
See, now he's pulling the cliffhanger move, you know.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Oops. This is not the color one.
No, this is right. It's just the beginning of it. So
yeah,
go to the
the
beginning.
Oh, okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right, gotcha.
And
all right,
I
let me play.
changed the final part as well.
Okay, all right. Let's just play it one more time. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. So you basically colorized what we showed earlier, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
some of the things.
Clean up a little bit as well. Yeah, make it's not the animatic now; it's fully animated, even the last part.
Yes.
So when it comes in now,
yeah.
Yeah, even this
brilliant.
is smooth. Yeah.
Oh. I feel like I'm
See how it's
getting to
floating?
see it. Yes.
And then he grows the wand.
That is amazing. 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 Ah,
nice, thank you.
can't get enough of it. I think this is perfect that we showed that. Let me unshare this because let's talk about the future. Yeah. All right. I'm like speechless. It's like I'm trying to get my mind back into the game here in terms of hosting the show. Okay, we saw these animatics, and I was already intrigued. I was already just totally surprised and excited when I saw that because I think it's buried at the bottom of your Kickstarter, and I think you need to like put the new one that Ruben did, maybe move that up to the top and sort of say, hey, this is kind of like something else that we're kind of doing. You know, if you like what you see here, this is a potential future. I'm going to go into like the multiverse here. I'm going to go ahead and like assume what John and Ruben have in store for the future. it's like animation. Okay, I would like to see this as a. We talked about this in the pre-show. This is like Last Airbender level. I would like to see the story taken to Nickelodeon. I would like to see this on Cartoon Network. I think it has feet. It has the legs to like go that far. So like here we are. We've done our live drawings. We did your origin story. Let's move to the part of the show which is just talking about the future. And I would like both of you kind of like talk about your futures. Let's we had the Kickstarter. So I'd like you to just talk about life after the first Kickstarter. Like where do you see in the next year? Like, the new IPs, new OCs, issue number 2, talk about that stuff. But then I also want you to go into the future, like 10 years, like where you would like to see, where John, where you see with Rhythm, I keep on saying Rhythm, right, I'm going to say your comic IP studio before I totally butcher it. And I would like you also, Ruben, to see where you see yourself in the next 10 years. So John, you go first. Tell us like, immediate future and then 10 years.
Yeah, so immediate future, I guess we'll just start right with the immediate future. So once the campaign ends for the Kickstarter, Ruben and I have already been in talks about, we're already working on issue 2. Last night, we literally went through every single page of issue 2 together, and we're getting ready for it. I'm getting ready for the shipping. I've been looking at a few different things, just trying to get like, I just want this book. I'm really aiming for October. To have this in the hands of everybody who backed. So trying to get it out as soon as possible and really just pushing forward to the next issue, which is it's super exciting, So that's the immediate future. I'm going to be putting the book up, for those who maybe weren't able to get it through the Kickstarter on a few different sites like Amazon, and Comics or Global Comics and things of that nature. So trying to get that out there. And then when it comes to like the future, looking at making this series, like you said, possible animation one day, possible series. We really are looking to go big with this. This is our baby, and we're in it together. I see Ruben as an equal, and he and I are in this 100% together. So we're super excited for when that comes, because we aren't going to say it's not going to. We're going to get it done. So that's where we're at.
Oh, awesome. So Ruben, obviously he pretty much told you you're his partner in crime. You're going to be by his side, equal partner in making this taking it to the next level. What do you see like immediate future, 10 years? Like where do you see you going?
I mean, if I would have it my way, I would see us directing our own series. Having our own spot in the industry and eyes on ourselves. But I would go humble right now, and I would say just have the second. I mean, I would say get the 5 first issues done in an episode at least. A small episode, and that would be enough for me to get to the next stepping stone.
You are so humble, man, and it's like because I know that you have time stopping powers anyway. That's how you got so good in such a short amount of time. No. But I just think it's awesome. I think that I'm gonna butcher this quote, but it's one of my favorite quotes from a video game. And that video game is Uncharted. I don't know if you guys have played that, but the lead character, Nathan Drake, he says he has a necklace, and I'm going to butcher this quote, but the gist of it is it's like greatness from small beginnings. You guys starting small, but I see greatness in you guys. I see greatness in where you guys could take this. I think it's going to be really, really exciting to see what you guys do. I got to share a little bit of that joy yesterday to see you guys reach that funding achievement to be there, to be successfully funded. So I mentioned to you guys before, that's so from here on out over the next 6 days, it's just icing on a cake that's already baked. And I'm going to say that as a fan who has backed many Kickstarters, who's had guests on this show, what I am so impressed about you guys is that you are doing it right with your Kickstarter. The book is done. It's not like it's going to be fulfilled 6 months from now, a year from now. This is going back to that promise, John, you made to Ruben about it's going to get taken care of. It's going to be done. So if you're going to back this book, let's get it to 100 backers. Let's get it to 200 backers. Let's get it to 15K. You will not be waiting. John has said he ideally wants it to get in everybody's hands by October, because once this is fulfilled in September, he just needs to tally up those things, and postage is no joke now; it's expensive.
Oh yeah.
But he's gonna get it to you guys. You will not have to wait. You'll get to see Keon's story. You're gonna see the foundation for Abaddon. I got a little bit of a hint about a potential cliffhanger there at the very end with some sort of big reveal, literally a big reveal. So if that isn't a tease enough, I want everybody to who's in our audience, who's in earshot of this podcast, who's watching it on demand, to make sure you guys support that. It is going to be in the chat area. I'm going to pop up your ways that you can contact them one more time. And during this time, this is where we're going to wrap up the show. This is where I've already gone through the range of emotions hearing you guys' story. It's inspiring. It makes me feel connected to you guys. It only makes me want to support you guys even more, and that's why you're on the show. We're going to move to part of the show which we call the Oscar speech. And the Oscar speech, Oscars have been getting bad vibe because of Will Smith. Don't worry. There will be there's no slapping. I think it'll be if any slaps, it'll be a slap or a pat on you guys' backs virtually, congratulating you. You guys have done really well, and I love telling these kind of stories. So Oscar speech. I'm going to put the mic in Ruben's hand first. I'll let him go first for once. I'll let him give his Oscar speech, and then we'll go to you, John, and then we'll start wrapping up the show. So I'm going to solo you out, Ruben. So we've been seeing your art cam go big, but now we get to see your face go big. So we're going to do that. Let's hear your Oscar speech.
I mean, thank you. I mean, I don't even know what to say, honestly. It's just an humbling experience, and it's been quite a ride, So to reach up this point and have amazing teammates with me, it's crazy. It's dreamlike, So let's hope for better things in the future and keep riding.
Dang, I wish I could be as succinct and as awesome as you are in terms of saying something so moving and with so few words. But I know, John, you're the writer, so I expect you to be a little bit more verbose. I expect you to drop some crazy things of inspiration on us too, but no pressure. I just like to hear what your final thoughts are in your Oscar speech. So here we go. Gotcha on solo, big screen. Mike is in your hands.
Well, yeah. So first of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has been supportive, and I mean, to the bottom of my heart, and Ruben, I know we worked really hard on this, and we're presenting a product that we believe in, and we're super happy that you guys believe in it as well. But I do want to say, I guess, a thank you to Ruben and the team that worked on this. A thank you to the people who are like you, Comicast, for hosting us and supporting us. I really, this is the way of networking and getting out there and just telling our story. So we appreciate it. And for anybody who is getting into comics or may want to create their own comics, like you said previously in the show, you're always going to be your biggest advocate. And if you want it to happen, you're going to have to be the one who makes it happen. So there are so many ways to make that happen. It can be done. I'm a firm believer. If you put your heart and mind to it, you can get it done. So, and you have people like, me, Ruben, like all these creators who are doing it, right? We're in the process. Reach out to somebody if you don't know which route to go, if you're unsure of things. We may not always have the right answer, but we will have at least some answer and try to help the community along. So,
exactly. Great. That is awesome. I love that. Adding those words of inspiration. These guys are examples of get her done. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but down south, it's all about get her. It's get her done, because I'm going to quote another artist that I really look up to. His name is Jake Parker, and he said it's like finish, not perfect. That's what he likes to say. It's like you have to finish it. You have to bring it across the finish line. It may not be perfect, but hey, perfection can come in issue number 2. That can come in issue number 3. A goal that you will aspire through your rest of your career. You may get to issue 100, and it's still not going to be super perfect, but it's finished. You want to keep on producing. You want to get your story out there. You want to get the art out there. You want to get something that's in your head, make it tangible. Make it in a comic that you can flip, or if it's a virtual PDF, you can do that too. It's all about telling that story, sharing your creativity, so that you can inspire other artists. And that's what Comics Cast is about. It's featuring guys like you, so that our guests, our audience, can be like us. And just love it. I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
All right, so you don't have to thank me. I'm thanking you guys. So just like what we do with all of our shows, we like to plug a charity group that we partner with, that the leadership for Comics Cast is friends with the leadership for this group. And that group is Golden Fight. So let me put that in there. I want to show this. 1 second. I want to show the URL. That's goldenfight.org. And I'm going to share their website. All right. So Golden Fight. Who are they? They are an organization, a charity that I like to say is big enough and small enough at the same time. Small enough in the sense that this particular charity is not like international, unlike our guests here or our fan base. They definitely have a very focused approach. It's my neck of the woods. It's the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. So they are focused. Now, this is what makes them big, what makes them huge. They recognize a need for families that are dealing, or that have children that are dealing with difficult illnesses like cancer. And inevitably, when they are focusing on the healing of their child, financial difficulties will happen. And that's where Golden Fight comes in. They raise money, and I used to think it was like 98, 97% with like a very small amount that they had to keep to like run a business, to run a charity. You would think that 1 or 2% they would keep to do that, but I was wrong. 100% of the money they raise goes to the family so that they can help, or they can focus on the healing of their child. That's tremendous. Their leadership, the people that work for them, they do it on a volunteer basis, and they just have tremendous hearts. And it's our honor, it's our privilege to bring awareness to them. We are not financially tied in any way with Golden Fight, other than that the leadership of Comics Cast is friends with the leadership Fight, and we just want to get the word out. So if you want to check them out, go to goldenfight.org. And in this time, if you have within your means and you'd like to find a charity to donate to, check out Golden Fight. Might be a good fit for you. We definitely love what they're doing, and only wish them the best in terms of helping families deal with these difficult circumstances that they have to deal with. All right, so let me get this back, and I want to go back to full screen here. So end this. All right, okay. So I have you guys one more time on here, and I'm going to plug your social media. Follow John, follow Ruben. This is how you can do that. Reach out to them. Let me go ahead and share one more thing too, which is the URL for their Kickstarter. And I need to get the short URL because that long URL is not something that everybody can do. You can always just go to Kickstarter and type in The Last Wand, and you can find it that way. But you can also go here, and so yeah, it's Kickstarter. It's T4RHBC. We can do that. I think if you type in The Last Wand on Kickstarter, you'll find it faster. Yeah, and it is there. Way. Yeah, that is the easiest way to do that. All right. Okay. That being said, this is where I had to say goodbye. I told you it's been an emotional roller coaster for me. I'm gonna get misty-eyed because I got to say goodbye to you guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to have you guys on the show. I wish you nothing but success, and the door is going to be open for you guys to return. I'm going to be the soothsayer, and going to be Nostradamus, and I'm going to predict not only that you guys will be, super successful, which you already are, but you're also going to be coming back to the show when issue 2 is ready to drop. For the last one, I would love to help promote you guys in that respect. So we'll look forward to that in the future. Comics Cast, we're going to be here Comics Cast Let It Out will always be here every Sunday at 1 p.m. Looking forward to promoting guys like this, guys and gals, in the indie comic community. It's always our treat. So that being said, this is Gerald saying, keep on drawing, and Comics Cast out. We'll see you later. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.